Screaming and screaming. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Pop or gut? If only I could make a deal with God. You guys should be a singer, babe. Very supportive wife. I love you so much. Screaming. On Discord or? No. Fringe. Hey, what's up, guys? A little sussy timing. Why is it sussy timing? Why is the timing suspicious? Like a character from Among Us to you. What's up, guys? What up, nerds? What the heck did they do to Stream Elements? I'm so confused. Messing with my stuff. I don't like change. I'm getting old. What's going on, fellers? Vote for Mr. Gut. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You just opened YouTube. That's funny. I appreciate that, feller. Oh, somebody renewed their thing.
Magdalena Rico became a member.
Thanks for the renewal, member. Say your name extremely loud. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna say your name extremely loud. Electric Jonathan. Please exit my walls because they're interesting. Interesting. Play more video games. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I go through like a thing. I know sometimes I like playing video games. Sometimes I don't like playing video games. It's one of those things where like I'm vibing. You know what I'm saying, dude? We're just vibbing, if you know what I mean. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing tonight? How are you tonight? Tell Mama God they said hi, baby. She's sitting behind me. She's hiding. She's hiding back there. Oh, she's in the chat now. She's lurking a little bit. Now she's the suspicious character, if you ask me, bro. She's the suspicious character, honestly. Ugh. How do I feel about Splatoon? I've never played Splatoon, so I don't really have any way to feel about it. There's a new Family Guy video game? Oh, okay. That sounds interesting, I guess. I have been watching a lot of Family Guy, yeah. Do you think Sneako's on the alt-right? I care so very little about Sneako. People come in here almost every day. Oh, what do you think about this? I don't care. I think Sneako's alt-right. I just don't care. I don't care about Sneako. Maybe. I mean, he's so boring. Nighttime vibing. Heck yes, brother. Heck yes, brother. Yeah, a little sus. Mama G. Thoughts on GTA 6? I don't play Grand Theft Auto, so I don't know. It exists. Did they have like a leak recently on the GTA 6? Wasn't it some crazy stuff? Wasn't it some crazy kooky stuff? What are you laughing for? What are you laughing for, huh?
Catacombi became a member.
You want to fight? Hey, thank you so much for the membership, brother. I appreciate that. Oh, you're watching TikToks? Okay. Bay's Gut comes back and plays more games. It's fun watching him. Yeah, I don't know, man. I play games like sometimes when I'm feeling it. I'm not like super game heavy right now. Also, the North Korea bombing near Japan. I didn't even hear about that, brother. I'd have to look into it. Play Sea of Thieves, probably. Probably never play Sea of Thieves. How's everybody doing tonight? It's weird that you guys are here on a Friday night. What do you guys? You guys are lame. Okay, you should be doing something else. Hanging out with some fat guy on a stream. Okay? It's weird. All right? What are you guys doing? Do you have anything better to do? I'm just fucking with you. Would I rather be a burger once a day or a fry sometimes? I feel like how often is sometimes? And why would I? What's the downside? Is there a threat of me getting eaten? Do I have any control over when it happens? How long does it happen for? I don't know. I don't know. Did I see TRO's 4-hour stream about Ethan? I did. I see it right here. I have it on the list. This would be its own stream in and of itself. This would be one heck of a stream. Let me just tell you that. This will be. I don't think I'll do it. I'm not going to do it today, obviously. But oh my god, what an in-depth banger! This will be crazy. Oh, you're a single mom. You have better to do on a Friday. There you go. There you go, brother. Or sister. Sorry. Brother. Well, I can say everybody's brother. But yeah, I saw it. It's probably really good. The Right Opinion puts out some real good stuff. It's just crazy. 4 hours. How could you do that? How do you do 4 hours? That's nut bars, bro. That's nuts. And they have a song in here? The Sleeping Prophet? What is this? Is this... Oh, this is a YouTube library? Is this a DM... Is this like a... I guess you're allowed to use this music? Okay. Interesting. I ever watched Naruto? I mean, I've watched it before. Yeah, they're getting very epic. Well, I mean, this is a very detailed video. I guess this was what people expect out of him, right? So, some really, really in-depth videos he drops every few months. Huge bangers, 3-hour-long bangers. So, you know, good for him. It's crazy, though. This Club Penguin one wasn't very long, but that's okay. 4 hours is not... Yeah, it is. It was amazing. We'll see. We'll have to watch it soon. Yeah, I did see the Mario movie trailer. It looks interesting. It does look interesting. Would I rather be a wiener dog for an hour or a pit bull for 30 minutes? I think I'll be a Well, what's the conditions? Am I safe? I mean, I'll be a pit bull if I'm somewhere aggressive, but I'd rather just be a wiener dog for an hour and chill. Oh yeah, if I could hang out with my wife as a wiener dog once a day, that'd be chill. I don't want to be a pit bull though. No, with my mom. Yeah, my mom has 2 wiener dogs. What do you mean? Nah, they're both wiener dogs. All right, we should probably. I feel like we should get into this today. What is that question? I don't know. It's an interesting question. What's up? You gonna leave? You're gonna leave me right now? That's fine. Hot dogs or hamburgers? Hamburgers, I think. I love you, baby. Love you. Bye, baby. Oh, Sneeko's called the F slur multiple times in this track. I don't care. I don't know. Like okay. That's okay. I hope he's all right. Anyway, do some calculations, and you were to make a video with all Christian reactions, it would be around 5 days worth, 70,000 minutes. Damn, that's crazy. How many hours is that? That's nuts. Yeah. All right. Oh, let's get into our first segment here. Thank you, baby. Anyway, my wife left. My wife left me. It's one of those nights, man. I'm like, well. Anyway, let me just actually finish this yawn. All right, so Piers Morgan. Yeah, discriminating against pit bulls, of course, bro. Pit bulls are mean. Those things are aggressive, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, this video has been floating around a lot, surprisingly. I guess I counted on a little late. But this is Andrew Tate and Piers Morgan. This is a preview to like the full show. Obviously, we can't watch the full show on here, but we can watch the preview. And a lot of people are reacting to this too. So, yeah, let's take a look. I'm interested. I'm curious about it. You know, Top G obviously is taking a little bit of a hit because he's banned and he's, you know, I feel like he's less relevant now. He's kind of, you know, but let's get this going.
It's the most famous man you've probably never heard of, but the chances are your children will have. Videos of Tate have been viewed billions of times online. He's built an enormous following of mostly young men, and his often scandalous views about women that have made him notorious across the world.
Scandalous. Wow.
Views like this.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking down the aisle to marry the groom, the father walks next to her and gives her away. True or false?
Tate's opinion.
Yeah, it's true. I guess that's what people are criticizing, right? Like that shouldn't be the way it is. traditionally it was like giving them away. Now it's more of a tradition. You know, it's nice for them to give them away, but it doesn't mean that they're transferring ownership. That's what the implication is there. It's like, doesn't the father own the daughter until the father sells the daughter to the husband? It's an interesting way to look at things. Yeah, I guess so, traditionally, but I don't think that we need to uphold that.
Opinions on mental illness are equally controversial.
I don't believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them.
Interesting. I mean, I'm sure for some people they could just pick themselves up by their bootstraps and no longer have mental health problems, I guess. Most people, it's a lot deeper than that, but okay.
Well, this summer, every major social media platform banned Tate amid a global backlash and concerns about his influence on the young people who watch him. But copies of his videos are still shared millions of times every day. This show is called Uncensored. One of the challenges views directly. So
is that the one on Rumble?
He flew from Romania to sit here in this studio, and the full explosive interview airs later this week. Here's a bit of what's to come.
So I guess since he was able to fly from Romania, I'm assuming they do this in like Europe in some kind of way or shape or form. I guess that means that he can still enter Europe. Weren't people saying that like Andrew Tate couldn't come back to like the UK in some capacity or something like that? There was a little bit of a conspiracy theory about that.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking you?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and say.
Hold on. It's interesting because I saw this cut up in like a weird way.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
Could be a little bit of a loaded question, depending on how you're asking that. Like, if you're specifically asking to catch him into a trap, then, like, yeah, that could be a loaded question. If you're going to give him the time to, like, elaborate, and he might have a good answer. I feel like he probably doesn't, but he might have a good answer. You know, you kind of need to give him that time. Yeah, I feel like Andrew Tate's, like, afraid to answer everything now because he's been kind of shit on, which is deservedly so, I think, because he's had some incredible... Well, he's a little bit sexist. I think he means well, but, like, he has very regressive views on women that aren't good for people to be hearing. So...
I can't.
You know why I'm asking you?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and say.
For the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more...
Oh, Andrew Tate's afraid to answer these. Wow,
arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is times more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is misogyny.
It's
why?
So I can explain to you why that's like a misogynistic take. So there's a lot here. First and foremost, okay, it's so weird. It's like so bizarre. Okay, first and foremost, not every girl goes to like the club and stuff. Andrew Tate seems to specifically interact with like younger girls, legal age girls. Okay, we're not, but younger girls that like stay in the clubs, like those like Miami, Florida girls who are there to party and kind of get fucked, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's one of the biggest things. So that's like the first issue that we encounter. And then the second issue we encounter is like obviously the idea that like the more bodies you have, the worse or the lower value you are, which is a fine take to have if you share that equally with both men and women. You know what I mean? I think that anybody with a higher body count is kind of gross in general, And statistically speaking, there's like a thing going around that's talking about how like women with lower body counts tend to be report being happier in marriages. Same thing with men though. So so like it's one of those things where there's an unequal standard there. So yeah, I guess that would be like misogynist in that capacity. Yeah, that's why it would be. But there's a lot more than just that one thing. It's not like it's just that one statement that he's made. There's multiple statements across the board where like Andrew Tate has like a regressive view on women. When it comes to like women doing OnlyFans, he wants to take like 80% of it. But that's a bit obviously sexist because he wouldn't do that in reverse. When it comes to vacations, he can go out with his friends on vacations. These are things that he said, but he wouldn't let his girl go on a vacation with another woman because he wouldn't be able to trust them sleeping around. That's obviously another like, problematic thing for him to say. We saw the transfer of ownership idea. He wants to uphold like these kind of dated ideologies. There was one interview where he compared women to like children and dogs, not in like this like, oh, you're disgusting way, but it was in this way where it's like, oh, you know, a man should take care of a woman, and then it was like similar to like, you know, how you need to have authority over a dog, and it's like, okay, you know, obviously comparing women to children and dogs, either animals which are not human or children who are literally don't have the ability or capacity to consent to anything, like you're treating women as less than. So there's just a pattern of him just being very sexist, and it all comes out here. Yeah, see, like here, that OnlyFans one was a joke, but it wasn't. And one of the problems is that you guys are like desperate to call everything a joke, but you're not correct. It wasn't really a joke. I've seen the clip like probably 4 or 5 times, and I've talked about it multiple times. We're at a point where you guys are like, you're inhaling copium, and you guys can't just say that something's a joke because you don't want to believe that there's some kind of a misogynistic undertone to it. The reality is I don't think that Andrew Tate's a bad guy. Realistically, okay, you're saying he said 50-50. He said 80%, but even 50-50 is wrong. You shouldn't be taking money from your partner in that way. You're basically prostituting your partner at that point. And he said that, and when he was pushed on it by Dave Portnoy, he said, oh, I wouldn't do it in reverse, though. I wouldn't do it if I did OnlyFans. So it doesn't matter if you correct himself later. You have to understand that you're very wrong about this. Again, it's a double standard on the woman-man dynamic in a relationship. So I just want you to be aware that you're incorrect. Anyway, back to what I was saying. There's a pattern of obvious like misogynistic type behavior, but I don't think that he like hates women. I think he likes women. I think that he was looking for a particular relationship dynamic, which I think is perfectly fine. But he tries to push that onto everybody. He upholds again like the manosphere ideology it's like he wouldn't cheat, he says, but it's okay if a man cheats in a relationship, but not a woman, because women are pretty much exclusively valued for their bodies. Generally speaking, the manosphere is very toxic. Women are obviously more than just their bodies. I don't think Andrew Tate hates women, but like that's the problem, isn't it? Because I think that if we kind of look at Andrew Tate as a genuine guy, which you could say a lot about him, but he is a genuine guy, you realize that he means what he's saying and he's not grifting, and he actually believes he's not being sexist with these double standards. And that is like the core problem, is I don't think anybody's ever approached him in a way where it's like, hey, listen, like, do you understand what you're saying is wrong, or do you think that it's actually right? And that's kind of where we get to go here with Andrew Tate in a lot of different areas and a lot of different things.
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
Well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
Well, what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-20.
So it's not like this is the problem. It's like something doesn't have to be hateful or towards another person for it to be like misogynist, or women to be misogynistic. You don't have to hate women to be a misogynist. It's more about upholding like unequal standards between both men and women that would make it like a misogyny, right? So like again, the foundation of valuing women for their youth and how many bodies they've come through. I mean, the bodies thing I don't give a shit about, but just the idea that like all 25-year-old women fundamentally have been through like so much more dick to a point where they're like undesirable, I think is upholding like a very misogynistic stereotype, especially since, again, he wouldn't put the same value on a man. If he's like, I think it's disgusting for anybody to fuck like 20 people, you know, and like I'm disgusting, I was just gonna say that would be fine. But it's a double standard specifically on women, right? It's like valuing men more for more sex and women for having less sex, even though statistically the higher amount of sex you have before you're married, or higher amount of bodies you have before you're married, actually causes people to report on a less happy marriage, right? Just letting you know.
25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny.
No, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm...
Pierce is not doing a great job of communicating his message, I'll tell you right now.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive at a certain age and saying that age.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, than ageist, perhaps, but misogynistic, absolutely
is that
not.
But you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
But if a 26-year-old woman is watching this and has heard those comments,
yeah,
would you just say to her, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that?
No, I won't. I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. That's the point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world that believe that, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
That is true. Those are more or less progressive countries, sure.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not allowed to drive cars.
That's nothing to do with me.
But is that the kind of world for a woman that you?
I was mediating a conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you.
This is a terrible conversation. This is terrible, bro. This is horrible. I can see now why people are coming out of this being like, "Oh, Andrew Tate won this conversation." Yeah, they do need to stop interrupting him. He needs to be able to like talk. He needs to be able to talk. Like we don't have anything. He just keeps getting interrupted, and like Piers is just asserting something onto Tate. Like, let him talk himself into a corner if he's so dumb. You know what I mean? But like, if you keep going on and on, it's kind of fucks it up.
You think?
I don't live in a country where that happens.
You're using that as the excuse.
Well, I think isn't
For why you're not sorry for saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is that there are parts of the world where this is fine?
My friend.
So my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where
You don't think it's fine?
God, this is horrible. I'm feeling bad for Andrew Tate. This is like I want to hear the guy talk.
This isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that than if you try
he doesn't really have an opportunity to say anything. So what the fuck are you talking about?
and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think
That doesn't tell me what you think.
Then you need to understand why my content existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried my very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths.
Okay.
I was pointing out that
I think it's true that he feels that way about himself, but that doesn't mean that every uncomfortable truth that he expresses is an actual truth. It's just a way that he feels. And that's where you'd engage the conversation to try to change like the way he feels about a particular topic, right?
very uncomfortable.
Is that a truth? Then?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm happy about.
So if you say uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world, that means that that's more of a social, like something that's been upheld from like a social perspective and doesn't need to be that way. I'm just,
An inquest this week found that a 14-year-old girl, Molly Russell, died from an act of self-harm while suffering from depression and the negative effects of online content. The coroner said she was exposed to material that may have influenced her in a negative way, and in addition, what started as depression had become a much more serious depressive illness, and she very sadly took her life.
that's horrible.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Right. Her father,
It's terrible.
Her father's campaign for better protections against potentially dangerous social media algorithms, right? It says that the particularly graphic
How edited is this?
content she saw romanticized acts of self-harm, normalized her condition, and focused on a limited and irrational view without any counterbalance of normality. Focused on a limited and irrational or romanticized acts of self-harm algorithms, right? It says that the particularly graphic content she saw romanticized acts of self-harm.
So, okay. So what sounds like is happening right now is Piers is trying to say that Andrew Tate is responsible for her taking her own life because his content is toxic. And I think it's toxic, yeah. But then goes on to talk about how some of the content that influenced this young girl was romanticized like ideology about self-harm. That's TikTok, and there are spheres in TikTok that do that. So I feel like she may not be the one that, like, I don't think it kind of seems like Piers is like disgustingly trying to blame Andrew Tate for this happening here. It's like a shame tactic instead of engaging with what the guy's talking about. This just seems like a real dickheaded thing.
Normalized her condition and focused on a limited and irrational view without any counterbalance of normality. First of all, what is your response to that?
Well, what do you think he's going to say? Oh, I think it's funny that a young girl killed herself? Of course not. Like, what?
Nothing to do with you.
That's the first thing. Yeah, it is nothing to do with me. The fact that a 14-year-old girl took her life is truly sad. The world we live in today is... The world we live in, the fact that something like that happened is almost mind-blowing to me. That's truly sad. I actually feel sad inside to see something like that.
What has come clear to me in the interview is that a lot of things you say you wouldn't say now that you've said before.
But I'd say them differently, perhaps.
Yeah, okay. Right. So to me, that's an acceptance, not just that you want to get back on platforms, because maybe that was one of the reasons you were no platform, but that you've recognized and understood the potential harm to the wrong kind of impressionable mind
Okay.
by some of the
Sure.
things you've said. Would that be fair?
I think that's 80% fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think everybody's been there. The one thing that you can give Andrew Tate like a little bit of a benefit of or a break for is that. Okay, so I'll give a little bit of an anecdote. I was talking to my wife the other day. I know, my wife. And I was like, I find it so weird that people used to think I was like conservative because I've always consistently had the same views for like, I don't know, since I got into like politics, like maybe 7 or 8 maybe years ago. I've been pretty consistent and like, I've been pretty progressive. And my wife's like, yeah, you have been. I'm more educated on these topics now, though. But she's like, but now you express them differently. Back then, you would express them in like an edgier way, and you cared like it was just a different way that you would express different topics or speak your mind on particular topics. And that's probably why I had like an audience of some people who prioritize edginess over the message, right? So to give him a little bit of a break on that, like, yeah, it's possible that like some of the things he was saying weren't meant to be so negative, but they come off as such because of the way that he expressed himself. And like when you're very new to the internet and like there's like and in the real world, you basically have very like smaller spheres, right? Like you have you usually people that are local to you have a very similar like way of talking and speaking and interpreting language, and because everybody talks a little bit differently. And then when you go into different areas, people kind of take different things in a different way. And so like around me, I'm a lot of people in my life and my family and in the area I live in where I've always worked, very blunt people. It's very blunt people who will speak, obviously very bluntly. And so you can say something that's kind of a dickhead thing to say, and it won't be taken as a dickheaded thing to say because everybody understands that. Like, like if someone's like, hey, you're getting a little bit fat. Around me, that's not that big of a deal because you're like, yeah, I understand you're not trying to be an asshole, but it kind of comes like that. But then you go somewhere else, like California, and you say like, oh, you're being a little fat, and they just start crying. They're like, oh my God, and they start cutting, And that's the internet for you. There's like 100 different bubbles converging. So that's possible that some of his stuff is taken out of context. Maybe he wishes he wasn't so antagonistic. But of course, people, mostly his fans, cutting up the more antagonistic stuff is what made him blow up in the first place because they thought it was funny, which is obviously like an issue.
I recognize and understand that with massive fame, you have to be more careful about being misconstrued. Like I said earlier, 1% of people misunderstanding you doesn't matter with a small audience. It matters with a very large audience.
Well, I don't think it's just 1%. I think a lot of people understand it. Like, and to be generous to you, and I don't even know if I agree with this, they misunderstanding you. It's more than just 1% of people. It's a lot of people.
With power comes.
I know I'm giving him charity. I'm just saying, like, hey, listen, I'm just being contextually accurate. I don't think that it is like a matter of massive interpretation or misinterpretation. I think a lot of like what he does believe deep down is shit. When he talked to Hassan, and I'm not a big Hassan fan, but when he talked to Hassan and he was like, yeah, men are better drivers. And Hassan's like, well, statistically speaking, women tend to be a bit better. I mean, they're less expensive when it comes to insurance, which is a decent way to gauge it because obviously these companies want to prioritize money. So they're going to make insurance more expensive for people who generally are more expensive. And of course, it's more complicated than that, like men are better race car drivers, like professionally, but most of us aren't professional drivers. And then Tate will go into his speech about how like, yeah, well, if it's like he said this in the interview, which I thought was very funny and very telling about the way that like Andrew Tate's like sphere kind of collapses in on him. He's like, yeah, well, if I'm hanging out and I got to drive in the snow, I'm not going to let the 18-year-old girl drive. I'm going to drive. And it shows that like he tends to engage with legal age, but younger girls and younger people in general are just kind of dumb and usually not as seasoned at anything than an older person, right? So you kind of start to get this like worldview ideology. So he is sexist underneath all the jokes. He's more antagonistic in his jokes. I don't think that he's a disrespectful person fundamentally. But like the way that the ideas he have are obviously less respectful of women, which I know sounds like a weird thing to say, but yeah, I don't think that he tries to be intentionally disrespectful. I think he believes these things genuinely.
Comes responsibility. I still believe the things I say. I do not want to be a negative force for the world. I also understand that I am a man who's lived a very difficult, nuanced life, and I am capable of making nuanced points that may be misunderstood by teenagers.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never seen him make a nuanced point.
However, that can be said about anybody and everything. Every opinion online can be misunderstood by children. Trying to protect children from the internet is a very interesting subject.
The problem is that he hasn't really been able to explain these misconstrued ideologies to adults either. That's the problem. I don't think all of it is just misinterpreted.
In and of itself, because I would argue that 80% of the content on the internet can be negative or detrimental to a young mind that doesn't understand the world.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to watch the full thing. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. What's that? Why don't I like Hassan? Are you not like I'm genuinely, are you not a consistent watcher of Papa Gut? I've criticized Hassan for a few different things. I think I had, so like the lore is I disagree with him on like universal basic income because I like that and he doesn't. And then like, I'm not for like the defund the police. I'm for like the reform of the police. And I would make comments like that. And the first time Hassan looked at my videos, he was just like, oh, Papa Gut's a hate farmer. He's this and he's shit. So after that, I'm like, okay, fuck this guy. Plus he said some dumb shit. Plus, the whole, like, you know, his comments on, like, Gideon's video, I thought those were, like, really shitty. He's just kind of a shitty person. He's not particularly intelligent. And then after the whole Twitch thing, where, like, that, with, like, the Adriana Lee thing all that centralized around drama between, like, XUC, Hassan, Trainwrecks, and Miskiff, and, like, they didn't even care about the situation that much, just 99% of the conversation was around their own personal beef. It's very clear that they're not very genuine people, and they're all just, like, running PR. They're like, honestly, these top Twitch streamers are fucking losers, all of them. I think that they're really dishonest pieces of shit. I think that situation definitely highlighted how they were. They're more interested in like the way that they're perceived by the world and what's going on in their own like drama sphere than what's actually happening and like the bad things that are really going on. They don't care. They're terminally online rich people that have like no positive impact on the world. That's kind of just the reality of it, you know? Okay, that's interesting. I disagree that he virtue signals. Okay, I mean, I don't know. It's fine. I think he does. You know, when he got criticized for, you know, having like a less than stellar take, like the conversation with Christian Walker, where people felt like he didn't do a good job representing trans people, and a trans person criticized him. He told them like he said like incredibly disingenuous shit to them about how they hopes the rest of their life is miserable. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, his pro-Russia arc is incredible too. I am entitled to my opinion, but I'm just telling you that there's a lot of red flags for Hassan. You know, it's fine that you like him. I'm just letting you know. You know, I've already introduced you to the concept that Hassan's a virtue signaler, so now you're going to start watching things through that lens, and you're going to see. If you're a month from now, you're going to understand what I'm saying. A month from now, you're going to understand what I'm saying. Yeah, his pro-Russia arc was very corny. You don't think that Destiny's based all the time? Yeah, me neither. You know, a lot of people are very fucking annoying to me. But I might just be going through my, like, fucking annoying arc. Where I find everybody to be fucking insufferable. You know, Hassan is very attractive, so that might be what it is. He's edgy. Is he? Is Hassan edgy? I remember that bros thing that he did. What's going on, Shaq XQ? What's up, brother? I watch both Pop and Hassan. That's cool, man. I respect that. It's good to get different perspectives from different people. I'm not telling you to not follow or look at this guy. I'm just telling you. You know, Twitch is too much of a variety. Look at it. YouTube's pretty basic in terms of streaming. Yeah, for sure. Crazy Papa used to love Sneeko. When did I love Sneeko? You're a very interesting person. I think I have Hassan's attention span. No, I don't think so. I think that you probably do. Obviously, I'm going to think that. I looked at enough Hassan content to know like that I'm pretty stout in my beliefs on Hassan. Like, let you know, I've probably watched Hassan more religiously than you in a way. The whole Gideon thing really bothered me hey, what's going on? Probably Zaddy. Glad you made the move to YouTube. Hey, thank you. Yeah, we're still testing it out. What segment do we want to do next? What segment we could do this segment. You want to do another serious? You know, it's interesting. I have like a couple of serious things to talk about, but I'm not even in a very serious mood today. This is a serious topic. I'm not in like a super serious mood today, though. I think we're going to follow this up with something a little less serious. You know? You know what I'm saying? Talk about something like a little less serious. Get a little bit sussy. My mom. Yeah, we'll talk about my mom. Okay, thoughts on the Mario movie? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I saw the thing. It looks interesting. So, all right, guys. Did I watch Tate on Piers? Yeah, I literally just watched it. Yeah, I'm in a silly, goofy mood. I'm in a very silly, goofy mood. Yeah, his Gideon take was abysmal dog shit. Just so you know, like it was. Okay, we'll do this really quick, and then we're gonna get to this video. Okay, the reason his video was such absolute abysmal dog shit is because he started off, and he like very quickly into the video, he's like, "Oh my god, I hope that Gideon doesn't whitewash the video." Which is obviously, like, you can understand why that's fucking racist. Then when Gideon says, I wanted to go to the most racist town in America and discover for myself because not only am I a content creator, but I'm also black, Hassan followed that up by saying, you don't really care about this, which is invalidating of his, like, blackness. I mean, I don't know how else to tell you guys there. That's just what it is. I think that was really shitty. It's Hassan just flexing. It's like another, like, oh, I think I'm an intelligent guy. Then he throws in some, like, basic shit like, well, obviously it's not going to seem as racist because racist places nowadays don't just call you the N-word. It's more deep than that. Like, we all know that. That wasn't an intelligent take. He just likes to be condescending and, like, sound smart by using social narratives to be like, oh, see, I'm a super intelligent guy. It was an asshole. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know why you guys are talking about his 9/11 take. I don't really give a shit about that. Obviously, it was insensitive, but, like, nobody fucking cares about that. But there you go. Anyway, I didn't really want to come here to talk about Hassan. I don't care about Hassan. That's why you guys are asking me about Hassan so much. Yeah. And then, of course, he proceeded to just try to, like, gaslight the fuck out of people and be like, I wasn't really trying to be, like, rude about it. I think that he could have operated a little bit better. It's like, it was a super backtrack. It was really shitty. See, this is what I'm talking about. Jenny used to make goofy ass content before that. Was it bad that Hassan assumed? Bro, I just, you see, like, this is what people call fucking liberal racism. It's not like Hassan made, like, a blind assumption that he didn't think Gideon was going to make it seriously. Gideon literally said, I wanted to investigate this because I'm fucking black and because I'm a content creator. And then Hassan immediately following up saying that he doesn't care about the social topic. That shows a profound amount of, like, invalidating his literal fucking life experience. Right after he said he's black. Dude, you can disagree with me, but, like, you guys have to stop because you have to stop. Like, I literally explained to you the specifics. You're like, yeah, but he's just assuming he doesn't care. The motherfucker said that he's black and wants to do the content because he cares. And then Hassan follows up by saying, you just don't care. That's what makes it kind of fucking racist. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You can disagree, but you have to stop. You have to listen to what I'm saying. And I don't know why I'm even engaging with you guys because you guys are being very unintelligent about some of your criticisms. Like, listen to what I have to say before just talking. Anyway. Anyway, let's not get too worked up here. All right, so I want to do something a little less serious, something a little more fun. This is the Knockoff IShowSpeed white boy. I saw this on TikTok, bro. It's some white kid that's, like, wants to be like IShowSpeed. I thought it was so funny, and then I saw somebody made a video. Kevin Reyes, is that how you say it? And it's called the Knockoff IShowSpeed. So I'm interested in this. I'm interested in what's gonna go on here.
Really, bro? Like, seriously, chat?
This is IShowSpeed.
Are you serious right now, bro?
And this
That's not. I thought this was IShowSpeed.
This is WhiteBoyEm. IShowSpeed is a YouTube streamer that has been exploding on the site over the past year for his outlandish, over-the-top, entertaining live streams. WhiteBoyEm, on the other hand, has been blowing up recently for, well, sounding and acting a bit like Speed.
I'm the best Fall Guys player on YouTube, bro. So I'm not the type to brag, but I just feel like I'm very skilled at this game right here, bro. Yeah. What? Like, are you?
Oh no, I gotta turn it down. I'm gonna have to turn it. There's gonna be so much yelling. I'm gonna have to turn this down.
Serious right now, bro? Are you really serious right now? Like, some real stuff, chat.
Yeah, I think you get the picture. So was this WhiteBoyEm guy always like this, or is he just seemingly copying Speed? Well, that's what we're going to be taking a look at in this video. So
it's very clear he's been always copying Speed, I feel like.
WhiteBoyEm, whose real first name is Emerson, started up his YouTube channel in September.
His name is Emerson. Okay.
Of 2018, and when you look at the earliest videos from his channel right now, you can see that he had always spoken the manner that we now see him talking in.
Got me some noodles, I'm probably gonna try to post some bangers, you know what I'm saying? Alright, y'all, we're trying to get a redemption. Alright, I'm gonna catch on.
He's got that Ebonics speech, brother. He's got that Ebonics speech. Yeah, I mean, he probably, you know, listen, bro. I remember when I was growing up, we used to think that, you know, rap and black people were cool. I know that sounds weird, but, like, back then, that's kind of like how it was when I was growing up. That was like the culture. It's like, oh man, black people are cool. We wish we were black. We didn't understand systemic racism, by the way. But so like everybody wished they were black and they could rap, and you know everybody wanted to be Eminem, of course. And so he probably just thinks that like that kind of shit associated with it is kind of cool. And then he's like, oh, IShowSpeed's really cool, and then started like imitating him. So that's probably what actually that's probably like what the reason why.
And he even had done this face before that many would kind of attribute to Speed being the only one doing it. So WhiteBoyEm, for the first couple of years on his channel, he just uploaded regular, many would say low effort videos that you would expect out of a kid. Like,
sounds like a classic Papa Gut fan.
Vlogs shot out from their phones, asking people questions out in public, a little bit of Fortnite, and also having this series of videos where he went on this app called the Monkey app. And now when you look at the channel, it's complete. And also having this series of videos where he went on this app called the Monkey app. And now when you look
What is a Monkey app? What the fuck is that? What happened to Omegle?
at the channel, it's completely different, and you can even see that there was this big gap in the videos that were uploaded, which
Well, yeah, it's a year and a half.
this video right here was from June 2020.
Acting gay on Monkey app gone wrong.
And the one next to it is from January 2022. The reasoning
Wait, how old is White Boy? He's only 15? Oh yeah, that makes sense. That's how like all young kids are. You know what I mean? That's how all these young kids are. They they like to imitate the people that they like the most. That's fair.
for this being because, according to WhiteBoyEm, he got called into the principal's office and was then told that he had to take down his videos that had him filming in school.
Basically, bro, I got suspended for 10 days for filming videos in school. I had to take all my videos down. Mr. Johnson, Miss Williams, if you're watching this, you guys got me. You know, say you guys got me. I'm not gonna film there no more, but I...
Why did they wait, what?
For filming videos in school, I had to take all my suspended for 10 days.
How did he get 10 days suspended? Wait, he got suspended for 10 days? For what? Like, I understand, like, maybe giving him a warning, but why did they jump to 10 days? What else has this guy done? That couldn't have been the first thing that he did. Did he just refuse to take them down or something? I don't understand.
For filming videos in school, I had to take all my videos down. Okay. Mr. Johnson, Miss Williams, if you're watching this, you guys got me. You know, say you guys got me. I'm not gonna film there no more, but I am gonna blow up on you. I'm not gonna lie.
And blowing up on YouTube, he did, as we'll get into it in a bit.
Wow, I guess it works out. Just imitate somebody else's content and bada bing, bada boom, successful. 10 days seems a little excessive, though.
So now we had a new WhiteBoyEm.
There has to be something else. He's a criminal? Maybe. There has to be something else. There's no way he just got fucking suspended for 10 days. Maybe in school? Yeah, but still. Although, I wonder what 10 days is. Because I remember back in the day, they used to ask us, you can either have, like, it was so weird. Like, it was like 1 out-of-school suspension was equal to 2 in-schools, which was equal to, like, 4 after-schools, which was equal to, like, 4 weekends, which was equal to, like, 8 after. It was weird. Sometimes they'd ask us which one we wanted. It was very bizarre. Because I would get, I would get like suspended sometimes. You know, I was a little bit of a bad boy, so I was a bad guy. I would just not go to class, and then they would suspend me from school. It was like, okay, this is the desired impact, so it's not really doing anything.
And they had to now come up with a new way to make content, not being able to film in his school anymore. And honestly, he didn't really do anything new. He still was making the same type of content with going out in public and asking people questions, and had some kind of variety with a few public nuisance videos.
Yeah, we got Speed right here. Look, turn this bitch off.
Why does this have to be like where the pranks are going? Hey, what if we go out into like to a store and harass like workers? Let's go harass minimum wage workers at school. Hey guys, I'm gonna go harass a minimum wage worker at school. Excuse me, a minimum wage worker at their own job. Like, this is actually gonna be very funny content.
All the way up, you can hear it. Love you, Speed. Fuck is you talking about?
But where things began to change was when on May 28th of this year, WhiteBoyEm will go on to start.
Is that gonna get DMCA'd? Rip.
Up his
If you don't hear any music in that in the post stream, you'll understand why.
First stream of many in a now new direction for his channel. The first stream, titled Riz Academy, would consist of him playing a horror game, watching TikToks, and then talking to people.
Yo, are you a furry? What are you? A bird? I had seen you on Instagram. I ain't gonna lie, you was looking like so cute.
I thought you didn't like white girls.
You know who I am?
Yeah?
Oh shit.
When you check the comments on that stream right now, you can see
okay,
that some of them say that he wasn't acting like Speed here. Emerson will continue to do streams. Stream right now, you can see that
right now you don't sound like Speed. He sounded a little bit like Speed. He just doesn't sound super exaggerated by it.
Some of them say that he wasn't acting like Speed here.
Speed doesn't DMC his songs. Yeah, but I think some of the companies he works with do. And I think he actually yelled at the company that works for him was weird. Although it was cool. Like I respect the hell out of it. Because I remember I tried to react to like the firecracker clip. Firecracker. And some random people DMs like pulled it down. It was bizarre.
Emerson will continue to do streams, but they wouldn't be getting the attention that he wanted, so he knew that he had to come.
Watch out for watching copyright music on stream. YouTube will cut your stream. I don't know if it happened the other day. I watched I didn't even watch the song "I Need You Now" by Lady Antebellum. I listened to it, but I turned the audio off, and I just had it on the screen. They still DMCA'd it after the stream was over. Isn't that crazy?
Come up with something that will get the people's attention.
Alright, yo, White Speed. How am I White Speed? Wanna be Speed? Y'all are crazy, bro.
This clip right here was one of the first, if not the first time that someone compared him to Speed. And once that realization happened, Emerson knew that he would have some fun with it. On the very next stream, he would title it Live What I Show Speed.
Bro, he very clearly liked I Show Speed and wanted to be just like the guy and just slowly leaned into it as he got more attention.
With a friend accompanying him, who obviously was not Speed. But in that stream, we got some of our first bits of some Speed imitation debuting here from WhiteBoyEm when he read out a message on stream here.
That is not I Show Speed, that's I Show Beans. I Show Beans. Really?
So for the following streams, WhiteBoyEm just pretty much imitated Speed. And when he got called out this one time while talking about him, WhiteBoyEm brought up that he had actually DM'd Speed on Instagram.
Is that a bark? Did he just do a bark?
When he got called out this one time while talking about him, WhiteBoyEm brought up that he had actually DM'd.
That was a bark, dude. I show barks, bro. What are you doing?
Speed on Instagram in the past, and that Speed had actually DM'd him back.
Are you serious right now, dude?
Bro, Speed DM'd me before, bro. See, look, chat. Look, chat. This is not even cap, bro. Look.
It doesn't look like I Show Speed. Isn't it? I would imagine I Show Speed's verified. But
I Show Speed profile.
I feel like he's verified. Is he verified on Instagram? Just want to check it. I feel like this is a publicity thing. I Show Speed Instagram. Maybe he's not. He is. He. So I don't see.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, he's verified on. I don't think that's actually I Show Speed. I'm pretty sure. He's just being stupid, but okay.
Bro, March 4th, 9:02 p.m. Happy birthday, bro. Look, we go to his profile. I Show Speed. On my life, chat. On my life.
Let me see that.
Bro, look, we go to his profile. I Show Speed.
Is it actually him? Was it before he was verified? Wait.
PM. Happy.
Let's see. We have to do our deep investigation work, guys. This is what we're here for. Beep 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 beep. Happy birthday, bro. All right, we hit I Show Speed. He clicks it. Eventually, it comes up. I'm skeptical. Maybe it is him. Maybe it was him before he was okay. Maybe it was before he was verified. I find it a little hard to believe, but okay.
I Show Speed. On my life, chat.
Oh, he only got verified at like 4 million. Okay. Shit. I guess it was him. Wow. This guy's famous. I Show Speed clone. He does look just like him, so.
On my life, chat.
Now, one can't 100% confirm or deny if that DM is real, but it does seem like it is because later on in the stream, WhiteBoyEm brought up that he had donated to Speed quite a bit in the past, and from this clip, it sounds like donating to Speed was what probably got him the happy birthday DM from the large streamer.
Bro, I spent so much money on him, bro.
Damn, why would you do that?
I already donated before.
How much did you donate?
I got his attention before. He said my name. He texted me on Instagram.
Okay.
Everything.
Oh, and when WhiteBoyEm here says he said my name on
how much money did he spend?
Stream.
He said my name.
He's referring to this moments from an I Show Speed stream in December 2021 of when he donated to him.
WhiteBoyEm donated. Hey Speed big fan, this is my last $5. Can you say WhiteBoyEm is the best YouTuber in West Virginia?
WhiteBoyEm is the best YouTuber in West Virginia.
So yeah.
Wow, damn, bro. I Show Speed probably could have got like $500 to $1,000 out of that shout out. He should have refunded the money and told me he wasn't going to do it, dude. You got to know your worth, Speed. Come on, bro.
From there, WhiteBoyEm just continued to do his streams and went on continuing to sound like Speed, and people started taking clips from those streams and began uploading them to TikTok, kind of making fun of them. And these videos just started going viral, with some of them getting millions of likes and many of them getting millions of views spread across everybody's For You page. Eventually, you knew that these clips were going to get on Speed's radar and show up on his streams, and they eventually did.
Really? I have 14 out of 15 bubbles, bro. Are you serious right now, bro? Are you serious right now?
What the hell?
Ben!
WhiteBoyEm went out to see this reaction and was pretty happy.
He just said what the hell and moved on. That's it. He seems kind of pissed about it though. It looks like in his face. Maybe I'm wrong.
About it, to say the least.
Bro, are you serious right now, bro?
This is cringe and I'm here for it, brother.
Speed!
Oh my fucking god. Dude, I wish this kid was aborted. Fucking Jesus, right my goddamn ear.
Are you serious right now?
What the hell?
Why is he gotta fucking scream like that, dude? I got a goddamn headache right now. Are you serious right now, bro? Oh my god.
Abdullah super chatted $6.
Hey, thank you so much, brother.
Are you serious right now, bro?
That's what I'm fucking saying, dog.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Even though Speed didn't give much consideration in speaking on the topic, that didn't change the fact that WhiteBoyEm was hyped up about it. But as more attention came to WhiteBoyEm's streams, so did the hates. Then with this going on, Speed went on to watch another meme/clip of WhiteBoyEm on stream, and this time he showed a bit of more disapproval of the guy when he popped up.
Are you serious right now, bro? Literally, bro.
WhiteBoyEm then saw
Doesn't sound too disparaging, but
all this reaction and then started up a stream where he announced that he was going
maybe
to
it was DMCA and he couldn't show the whole thing.
be dropping a diss track on Speed.
This is the second time that Speed reacted to me, bro. And this is bad, chat. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. This is bad, bro. Like, Speed really don't like me, chat. Are you serious right now, bro? Literally, bro. Like he said, I literally copy him. Okay. Alright, Speed. Alright, now look, chat. When Speed get dissed, when Speed gets dissed, I don't want to hear nothing from him right now, okay?
He then also said that he wanted to box Speed, and when someone asked him if he was being serious, this is what WhiteBoyEm had to say.
Well, of course he'd be serious. If he got a boxing match with IShowSpeed, that would be huge for his career, which is just imitating Speed.
About it.
Are you really gonna fight Speed? All I'm saying is if he say anything crazy about my diss track, it's over, bro. It's gone farther than like really it should have been. I really don't be forcing no accent, bro. Every time he watches one of my clips, he throws shade a little bit. Like especially today, bro. Especially today, he was throwing shade, bro. So it's like if he take it any farther, bro, I'm taking it outside of content, bro. On everything I love, bro.
True, brother. You go kick his ass, beat the fuck out of him. Do your thing, brother.
And on the day of July 24th, WhiteBoyEm dropped his diss track music video on IShowSpeed.
IShowSpeed, your music is whack. Messy is better than I was trash. Took it 3 days, I did it like that. Number 10 on the chart, that's a story girl. I'm talking about Jesse. Me, a dream, your it's my bestie. Watch how you talk, you better not tell me. The little be hating, it's just so zesty.
The diss track, while not
It's a
being a
little
full
long.
length
I thought that you were only going to show like 5 seconds of it. It was a little too long for me.
Did take some shots at Speed and his relationships with other people, and then at the end, WhiteBoyEm proposed a boxing match between the two of them.
I had to hop on the beat today to diss my boy Speed, you know what I'm saying? Just know it's all love, man. But Speed, if you're watching this right now, I do want a boxing match between us right now. Like, seriously, because I think I could really beat you up, dude.
And from there, Speed then went on to actually react to the diss track on stream, to the dismay of a lot of people in the audience that were saying that he shouldn't be giving WhiteBoyEm any attention. And when
That's true. You really shouldn't be giving him the attention. Why did this get him? Why did this get him and make him want to do it?
Speed reacted to the video, he just seemed disinterested the whole time.
Are you serious right now? Serious right now? Serious right now? Serious right now?
I don't get it though. I don't get it, bro. That shit was ass. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was trash though, bro. I give it a 6 out of 10, bro. I really don't get the video, bro. I seen clips that I got, but I don't get the video.
WhiteBoyEm, on the other hand, was just having the time of his life, seeing all of the attention that him and his video
Subscribe for this duty booty. Wow, incredible.
we're getting.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie to y'all boys right now, bro. This is crazy right now. I'm streaming. You go to Live Speedy's channel. You go to videos right now. You go to videos and look who you see, bro. Oh my goodness, 100K in an hour is crazy.
So while Speed did not bother wanting to talk about the WhiteBoyEm situation anymore, it did not change the fact that the diss track was making rounds around the internet. So much so that it got the attention from others in the community, like Aiden Ross and Kai Senat. Firstly, with Aiden Ross, WhiteBoyEm pulled up on a Discord call and had some interesting moments with Aiden in the group, mostly just fun interactions.
Aiden, I gotta give you a shout out though, cause like when people be seeing my TikToks, bro, they be calling me weird and stuff, but like every time you reacted to me, you was cool about it though.
No, bro, I'm gonna be honest, you are a weirdo, bro. I fuck with you. I respect what you're doing. No.
This is peak caucasity? Maybe. True.
No, you're a little weird, bro.
Are you serious right now, dude?
Yo. What the fuck? I think you're smart as fuck. I actually like respect, like we were just talking about, bro. Like you're actually like smart, bro.
But when it came to talk.
Why? Because he's copying somebody else and he's getting attention from Speed? Okay. Why is that super smart? I don't think that it takes a whole like lot of intelligence to copy somebody else and then get them to respond. It takes like a lot of luck and like very little shame. That's what it comes down to. It's not really smart. It's just like, it's just very like I feel like most people, I mean, I get he's only 15, so I'm not trying to shit on the kid, but most people have like a filter that would make, oh, this would be really embarrassing if I did this. Maybe I shouldn't do it. And then he did it, you know? That's pretty much what it is.
Talking with Kai Senat, it was more of a real talk conversation, with Kai wanting to get to the bottom of seeing if WhiteBoyEm was just straight up copying Speed, or if he genuinely acted that way on his own.
You said when I get in the call, you're gonna have to press me for acting like your man's. Like I ain't gonna lie.
And there's no longevity here either because he's just pretending to be somebody else, you know what I mean?
Like you a dick rider. It's funny. But I feel like if you allow you to be yourself, people will love you for you. And let me just tell you something right now, bro.
That's probably not true. I know we hear that in the movies. They're like, oh, if you're just yourself, people will love you for you, but it's very often not the case. Nobody really cares about you. Nobody loves you and nobody cares about you. There's really no point in continuing on. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But not everybody can be like, you know, famous on the internet. Just, you know what I mean? If they see the real you, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just being real with you.
I don't think right now, bro, the way you acting right now, I don't think it's gonna go far for you.
I ain't gonna lie though, like this is really how I act though. Like I'm not acting.
Yeah, that's exactly how. That is actually how he acts because he's 15 and he imitates the people around him that he looks up to. That's the reality. So like this is really the true him because he's a young kid, and I feel like everybody to an extent does this when they're young. They will act like, you know what I mean? So to an extent, everybody does this. Of course, you're 15 years old. You see all the anime kids running at school with their arms back like fucking Naruto characters. This is who I really am. You know what I mean? Like the band kids. Hawaii, how are you? Like that's the... Those are really how they are. Unfortunately, people are imitating TikTokers and stuff, and it gets even worse when they imitate their favorite TikToker. Oh my God. And then they walk around school day in like this crazy dumb shit. That's where it gets fucking brutal. I was in the bookstore with my wife the other day. We were looking for like her book for her like social worker licensing exam. And let me just tell you something, bro. It was fucking crazy how these kids were like, they were running around fucking Barnes and Noble screaming, I want to kill my mom. I want to kill, you know, that fucking meme. And I'm like, listen, it's catchy. And I catch myself saying, knock the key off my keyboard. I catch myself saying it sometimes, but to sit there and fucking imitate it to the point where you're, what I just do? Oh, I just restarted the video. Imitating it to the point where you're streaming in public. Oh, but God, I can't imagine how horrible. I can't imagine how horrible high school is for you kids or middle school with these people fucking screaming this shit. I wanted to smack the fuck out of that kid. But I can't, of course. But I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is terrible, bro. I want to kill my mom. Like, just like the anime kid in the school. Like, my wife walks around and does that to me now. She's like, hello, husband. It's fucking weird. It pisses me off.
To press me for acting like your man's. Like I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I feel like you a dick rider. It's funny, but now, bro, the way you acting right now, I don't think it's gonna go far for you.
I ain't gonna lie though, like this is really how I act though. Like I'm not acting no type of way.
You know what you're doing, bro, and I respect it. You a good ass actor. I'm telling you, bro. If you act like somebody that you're not, it might be cool in the moment, but bro, long term, it isn't gonna work out.
I'm kind of catching like a fake vibe from you. I feel like you're.
I like that. God damn, he smacked the fuck out of him with that one.
Throwing a little shade on me though.
How? About keeping it real?
As things got heated, Kai ended up just finishing the conversation like this after one of WhiteBoyEm's voice disrespected Kai on a phone call.
Yo.
Hey bro, hey Kai, bro, why you on my man dick, bro? My nigga trying to be in himself, bro.
Yo, who the fuck is this?
He said who the he hung up. Oh, I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy.
So that nigga.
This is fucking bro. I think that was his black friend from before, so it's okay if he said the word. But this is fucking crazy. What the fuck?
But about Fortnite, I'm gonna take his bread. And guess what?
What?
You a fucking bitch, nigga.
Really?
Eat my dick, nigga. Yeah.
Who?
That was fucking legendary. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Yo.
On the next stream, WhiteBoyEm was frustrated with what had happened and then went on to show that he had actually went ahead and made a diss track on Kai and showed a bit of it on stream.
The fuck is a Kai? Kai. Leprechaun in disguise. 20 years old, you 5'2", little bro, go get you some height. Or maybe go get you some hair, cause we know that them dreads is fake extensions. Talking real crazy on WhiteBoyEm, yeah, that was a little mistake.
Kai then...
Damn. Kind of fire, though. Not gonna lie. This kid's dad has a lot of fucking potential here for writing that song for him.
Found out about it on his own stream and then wanted to have another conversation with WhiteBoyEm to end their interactions with each other for good.
Yo, this is gonna be my last time speaking to you, okay? Let me tell you something, bro. You dissing a whole lot of niggas that's not, like, you think you're dissing me, but you're dissing a lot of other people on the
Why?
So basically what you're saying right now is you're kind of scared of my diss track right now.
No.
That's
Bro, this guy Kai or whatever it is. What is his name? What's this guy's name? Whatever. He's Kai sent. Why is he taking it so personally and seriously? You're dissing a lot of people right now. Well, from what? Because he called you like a leprechaun? Are you dissing the Irish because leprechauns are supposed to be white? Like, I don't understand. It wasn't that bad.
That's what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that I know what you're trying to do, and I'm not gonna let you get there.
Obviously.
But he's already doing it. He's just trying to get a reaction out of you, and you're giving it to him. It's like so big. What do you mean?
Their conversation did not go well, and it ended with Kai kicking out WhiteBoyEm again from the call.
I don't know what you're gonna do with your next steps, Emerson, but hopefully it's some positive shit. Hopefully you
Same.
Damn, he hit him with the Emerson. That's the biggest diss, though. Listen to this.
Kicking out WhiteBoyEm again from the call.
I don't know what you're gonna do with your next steps, Emerson, but hopefully.
Damn. Called that motherfucker Emerson. Frankly, I mean, personally, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't put up with that level of disrespect, but. You know, he really just got kind of fucking L'd by his parents. So if we're being real here, I mean, you named your kid fucking Emerson. Oh, they cut out all Kai's jokes. Okay, so you're saying maybe the guy who made this video made it a little like he made it a little too seriously. Maybe he just made it on accident. He was just skimming through, didn't want to show obviously the whole stream. So he's not as serious. You're saying in the live stream he may not be as serious. Okay, then take that into consideration.
Hopefully, some positive shit. Hopefully,
same for you, Colin. Yeah, same for you.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Wow. Sorry, that really caught me off guard. This kid just called him fucking Kyland. Oh, he Emersoned him back. He hit him back with the Emerson. He played the Uno reverse on the Emerson card there. That was fucking crazy. Oh my god.
What you gonna do with your next steps, Emerson? But hopefully it's some positive shit. Hopefully
same for you, Colin. Yes.
It's actually very funny.
Yeah. I got one question for you.
Yeah.
Do you ever think like you and Speed gonna be cool?
Damn, he left.
WhiteBoyEm after getting.
He must have said, "Are you serious right now, bro?"
Angie Toasty became.
Hey, thank you so much for the membership, brother or sister or thister. Damn, yeah, he pulled out his black friend like a Pokemon. See, people are fucking dumb, bro. Some of you guys are fucking out of pocket.
Aliagia super chatted $9.99.
Hey, thank you so much.
Love you, Papa.
I love you too.
Appreciate the content shift.
Thank you.
I
love
tune
you.
in for your humor and real world takes on
Oh,
issues.
thank you.
Happy to see you having fun again. Thank you for not having terminally online takes.
Thank you.
Aliagia super chatted 99
And thank you for the extra. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
Kicked out with once again.
Yeah, this kid's starting to grow on me too, bro.
His diss track on Kai, but the full song never ended up seeing the light of day in the public. So from all of this, you can just see how much WhiteBoyEm.
Damn, Kai must have bought him out on the side. Said, I'll give you this much money. I'm too afraid of you, so I'll pay you to not release that diss track, brother.
WhiteBoyEm loves the attention that he's been getting, and is still sticking to the alibi of him not copying IShowSpeed. But I think many of us can read between the lines here and see that he's obviously recognized that imitating Speed.
Oh, that is exactly what Speed does, is it not?
Speed has gotten him popular. And with this, he has ran with it, as it's clearly seen on his second channel, where a lot of his videos have IShowSpeed in the title. And it also wouldn't help his innocence case either, when you take a look at the description of his streams, and it's pretty much the exact same as Speed's.
Yeah.
WhiteBoyEm would also make several videos on his TikTok, continuing to say that he's not copying Speed, thus further growing his presence on that platform.
I'm tired of y'all saying I sound like Speed. I'm sick and tired of y'all calling me I show velocity, I show white. I'm sick and tired of y'all calling me I show this, I show that. I'm being myself right now.
But many people took notice that on one of his older TikTok videos from March of this year, he was talking to his mom, and everything he was saying there sounded.
Damn, mom can get it though. All right, damn.
Much more different than how he talks today.
So the first question I have for you: what can somebody catch but cannot be thrown?
Feeling.
This fucking dick to your mom, bro. Okay, that's a little inappropriate. Sorry, brother. She's not bad though. Well, she is bad, if you know what I'm saying. She's looking pretty good. I wonder if this kid's gotta be. It's gotta be like a divorcee, right? I don't know. Never mind.
All right. Next one. What is it that lives if it's fed but dies if you give it a drink?
You look at the comments there, and everybody's just asking where the accent had gone. WhiteBoyEm would also make a Q&A video on his channel where he had a bunch of interesting stuff to say, with one of them being what he would do if he ever met Speed.
What would you do if you met Speed? To be honest, if I met Speed, bruh, I'd probably try to chop it up with him, but if he on some weird stuff, bro, whatever happens, happens, you feel me? But I would love to meet Speed.
I love this kid's just fucking crazy confidence. Yeah, but I would love to meet the guy, but if he's fucking weird, I'm not gonna do anything with him. Like, goddamn, dude, come on.
And hopefully
this is fatherless behavior. That's why I'm assuming that the mother is single, right? Like, that makes sense. Emerson is very clearly fatherless. I mean, there's no way that a grown man would ever name his own son fucking Emerson. That's something that a white woman would come up with. Oh, what's the name of your son? Oh, it's Emerson. Oh, what did you name your baby? Oh, I love the name Mason. You hear the Mason? That's like, you know what I'm saying, dude? The name fucking Mason is like the new white girl. Oh, I'm gonna name my baby Mason. Every fucking kid that was born, every white boy that was born in 2021 was named Mason. That's a girl's name. For some reason, you motherfuckers think that that's intelligent to name your goddamn boy. Oh, Mason. This is what this is. Emerson, Mason. It's the same fucking kid. Okay, it's because there's no father around to say like, no, you cannot name your kid that. That's why I'm gonna name my kid something fucking cool. Like a fucking World of Warcraft. I'm gonna name him a fucking Broxigar, the Red. That's what my kid's gonna be named. Or something cool. Like skateboard. That's what I'm gonna name my kid. Fucking skateboard. You like Mason? Fucking rest in peace, dude. Rest in peace.
And hopefully we become friends.
Tony Hawk. Tony-Hawk. My last name.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have no problem with Speed.
So with him being down to squash the beef, he then also responded to people wondering if he is actually copying Speed.
Mason is supposed to be a girl's name, okay? Mason is a girl's name. If you disagree with me, you're just wrong. Sorry.
or if he had maybe just taken some inspiration from him.
Do you copy Speed, or he's your inspiration for your videos? To be honest, bro, I do not copy Speed. If I picked up on some of his lingo or some of his like actions, bro, it's just because I watch him a lot. I do not copy Speed on purpose. I do not copy Speed. You feel me? I'm myself. I am WhiteBoyEm, and I'm doing my own thing.
So with that, he went into his next stream and then had this moment happen.
I'm a fake IShowSpeed!
So obviously he knows what he's doing. He's still continuing to act like Speed to this day on his streams, but I think it would be safe to say that it's not as much as before, because he has noticed that at times like this, whenever he goes on, let's just say Omegle to make content for his streams, people only just recognize him as the guy that copies Speed.
Oh shit, you're that guy, bro. Speed one of
Oh my god, bro.
It's this guy. He tries to act like Speed.
Oh my god.
That's the fellow who pretends to be Speed.
Yo, I can't even get on Omegle now, dude.
But even with that realization, he has still continued to, I mean, I guess you can just say, milk the Speed situation on his channels, as he had uploaded a Genius type video for his diss track.
I am not Speed, I don't fake it. So the guys, I promise I'll make it. So basically what I meant by that is everybody that tries to call me a wannabe Speed, I'm basically saying I'm not Speed, I do not fake it. I'm being myself.
Every day he gets more and more like Speed. Like he gets the cadence of the voice down more and more. That's fucking crazy.
Right now, okay? I'm basically saying I'm not fake and trying to be Speed.
And then he has also just recently started uploading these vertical videos from his phone that address him supposedly getting booted offline.
Wait.
And then he has
no, wait, what's so funny about this is I remember looking back at like Speed will sometimes upload like videos like this with like a little bit clickbaity with the heart in the thing, the little heart in the description, thumbnail, description, title. That's the fucking word, brother. IShowSpeed does that.
He's also just recently started uploading these vertical videos from his phone that address him supposedly getting booted offline while streaming.
Can y'all please stop booting me offline, bro? I had enough of it, dude. Like, bro, I can't even take this no more. Please stop booting me offline, okay? I'm just trying to stream, bro.
These, if you've been a viewer of IShowSpeeds for a while, being very reminiscent of when Speed was getting booted offline last year when he was on the come up, and now we got WhiteBoyEm pretty much imitating him here. WhiteBoyEm has also took it upon himself to keep dissing Speed, as he has brought up this girl named Jess multiple times on his social medias, who is, I think, the current girlfriend of Speed's at the moment. WhiteBoyEm.
Wait.
Now we got WhiteBoyEm pretty much imitating him here. WhiteBoyEm has also took it upon himself to keep dissing Speed, as he has brought up this girl named Jess multiple times on his social medias, who is...
Did he print out a picture of IShowSpeed's girlfriend just to kiss the picture? Was he gonna do a fucking cum tribute to it? What the fuck is happening here?
Is, I think, the current girlfriend of Speed's at the moment. WhiteBoyEm has just been bringing her up a bit in his content, and has even referenced the accusations of Speed supposedly cheating on her. But aside from all of that taking place, Speed has gone on to just keep ignoring WhiteBoyEm's antics. And even in just a recent stream where
that's pretty much all you can do at this point. He's just gonna be fucking crazy.
He was out in New York for an...
I think Speed realized he created this monster. He created this monster, you know what I'm saying?
In real live stream, someone had come up to Speed and asked him what his thoughts were on WhiteBoyEm, to which he just reacted like this.
Speed, what do you think about WhiteBoyEm?
But things hit a nerve.
That's a good answer, brother.
For IShowSpeed went on a recent stream. He was watching KSI on an Instagram live and then tried getting into the mix. And we had people trolling Speed, disrupting the stream with their calls. And one of the people that was doing that was WhiteBoyEm.
Damn, brother. You gotta block that, dude. You gotta block that.
And after Speed had told everybody to stop trolling him several times, he finally had enough of WhiteBoyEm's stunts.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, you're black, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Damn, that's a block speed run. Jesus Christ.
Just say it, stop calling me, dog.
WhiteBoyEm.
Damn, WhiteBoyEm pushed too far, dude.
At that time was streaming his trolling of Speed and like...
You gotta know when to push a little bit and when to like fucking sit back a little bit and just chill. This guy, damn, he got his ass blocked for fucking doing that. Maybe do it one time and stop, but shit.
On air reacted to him getting blocked.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, you're black, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
True. What is funny though is that Speed probably wants people to do. See, this is the thing: is that like Speed likes to, I think, play up the trolling sometimes. He probably liked that people were like spamming on Instagram because it was funny to him, but like he could pretend to be mad about it for content. But like WhiteBoyEm doing it, like that's just like fucking like he hates that guy because I think Speed's racist. Honestly, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking totally joking. And so that's probably led to like the ban on the block on that because there's no way he knows blocking him is going to give him a little bit more attention.
Just say it, stop calling me, dog.
Really?
For that vibe. Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt.
Yo, enemy!
No, bro, you look sharp, bro. You're looking like you're having.
Are you Dennis? He's not gonna have me, bro.
After that ordeal happened, WhiteBoyEm's Instagram ended up getting suspended, and that's
why? Damn, they mass reported him.
Basically where we're at with his story, the story of WhiteBoyEm. Personally, I think that he's aware of what he's doing and knows what's going on. He's just playing the YouTube game at the end of the day, and whether you like it or not, he's winning at it. But I think that eventually he'll see the numbers eventually start to dip, and then he'll be at that crossroads again as to what he wants to do with his content. And I feel like that he'll be back to more of his old self.
That's the thing, though, is that here's the thing.
Start to dip, and then he'll be at.
That's the thing, is that he is being himself. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding about 15-year-olds. He's being himself right now by copying Speed because like he looks up to Speed. and like that influences his person, right? Like that's like every you know how do you guys ever met an Italian person before, and how they somehow magically act like every character from Goodfellas all into one? It's not because Italian people naturally act like Goodfellas. It's because a bunch of Italian kids they sat there and they watched fucking Ray Liotta and Joe Pesci, and then boom, all of a sudden, and they become poisoned in their brain, and it's like, I'm like that's become super Italian at that point. You know what I mean? Like Super Saiyan. It starts with it was just Italians, like the regular Saiyans, and then it's like, oh my god, they start imitating that, and then you get these fucking people walking around and they're like talking with the accent, like, hey, yeah, you're a wise guy, huh? I'm like, I know one Italian guy. I swear to fucking Christ. Okay, we're in the year 2020, okay? We're in the year fucking 2020, and this motherfucker is like, yeah, I won't date this Italian guy. I won't date a girl that won't reach across the seat and open the door for me. Because in like a Goodfellas movie or one of those old mob movies where they didn't have like automatic door opening, the guy was going on about how the girl sat. He opened the door for the girl. She sat in her seat, and then she reached over and opened the door, and that was a big deal because like, whoa, she's so fucking courteous. Motherfucker, you have automatic locks on your doors now. You don't need a girl to reach across the fucking seat. But we're in 2020, and this guy named Anthony. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Tony. A guy called me Anthony. I won't date a girl if she doesn't reach across the fucking Why do you need that? That's a Bronx Tale. Why do you need that? You don't physically need that. It doesn't make any sense. There's no logical reason for her to... Why would she even think to do that? She would have to have a traumatic brain injury to go like, I gotta fucking open the door for this guy. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Sorry. Don't mean to be rude. And that's how Italians are born.
At that crossroads again as to what he wants to do with his content, and I feel like that he'll be back to more of his old self again, as I'm sure that he doesn't want to keep this speed bit going forever. But now that he has this new audience...
Was that Target? Was he in Target? Or was that Walmart? I don't know.
Of over 76,000 people subscribe to him, this will be a good time to start making some proper content that he really wants to do for the long term. And to now properly finish up this video talking about speed again, I think that it would be pretty cool to see this WhiteBoyEm TikTok idea come to life, where he captioned it here by saying, maturing is realizing that me and Speed will have a fire collab. And with that, I agree. He just can't be going too far with some of the things that he's saying and doing at the moment though. But yeah, I think that would be a perfect way to end the IShowSpeed copycat arc that's going on right now. He
just did the thing. It's possible that this guy WhiteBoyEm is able to kind of like transition his content in a way that's still entertaining, but people don't see as much as like a clout ride.
Watch one too many clips of this guy. But yeah,
I mean, that's the reality, man, is that like this guy obviously got big for copying IShowSpeed, and that's who he is kind of, because he's a young kid, but he might grow older and come into his own a little bit more. And it's totally possible that he takes that clout and he's able to redirect it, even if he's only able to take like 10% of that audience, let's say, or even more. Like, let's say he can only take like 30% of that audience, and they're like, wow, I actually like this person, and he can build off of that. Oftentimes, that's kind of how things can start up. So... yeah, for sure. That was pretty good, though. That was a good video. They're never going to collab. Nah, probably not. IShowSpeed would have to take a significant dip while WhiteBoyEm climbs the ladder in order for that to ever happen, if we're being absolutely honest here. If we're being absolutely real. So, it's true. It is true. You miss Joji? I never really watched any of that. I didn't really watch a lot of stuff.
Sign 12 became a member.
Hey, thank you so much for the membership, brother. I appreciate that. My wife made a TikTok. No, she didn't make a TikTok. She sent me a TikTok. My wife was howling in the other room. I could hear her howl. Now, stop talking. I'm not done explaining the build up to the video. Stop it. Okay, sorry guys. Anyway, I'm telling a joke in a video, and I hear my wife laughing, ha 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 ha. So she's in the other room. I'm thinking she's watching my stream, laughing at how funny I am, how humorous I am, how charismatic, how handsome I am. All of a sudden, she pops in the chat. I need you to watch this TikTok. She was laughing because of a TikTok. Not a very supportive wife. Let's see what this is. This is what she was laughing at. It says over 18s only. Put a finger down. Blind react challenge.
A finger down, blind react challenge. If you could be so kind as to blind.
I think my wife likes this channel. She likes Oh, I know who this channel is. Yeah, she likes this channel. It's like a sister who like kind of antagonizes her sister or other sister with Down syndrome a little bit. It's funny. Okay.
react this. Now get all those fingers up.
Okay.
Put a
them on
finger
my ass.
down if you feel like putting a finger down. Now, put a finger
Okay.
down even if you don't want to. Now,
What's happening? Right?
raise all your fingers. Did you listen? I bet you did.
Is she doing like the Spock thing?
You like taking orders, don't you, you nasty little thing?
Okay. Okay. Oh, what? Why did you send that to me? You fucking weirdo. Okay. Okay. Why was that so funny to you that you needed to interrupt my stream for me to watch that? What the fuck? All right, let me go to the bathroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back, okay?
BRB.
It was kind of funny. So I go to the bathroom and my wife goes, "Oh, I don't even know if that was the video that I thought was funny." Like, what is? She's so weird. But she now is listening to my stream, so don't say anything bad about my wife. Well, Fruit Loops and marshmallows. Now that's a pogger. That's an epic pogger moment. All right, so let's see if I can find this thing. Okay, yeah. So I'm on TikTok, right? Let me do this. Let's do this segment here because this was crazy. So I was on TikTok and I saw this TikTok, obviously, where they talked about a guy with Down syndrome who's working at Wendy's for like 22 years was fired, and the reason that the manager gave was because he like wasn't able to actually do the job normally. I believe they used the word normally, which is crazy to me. And I kind of want to investigate it and watch a little bit more on it, but I kind of doubt we're ever going to get a full explanation from Wendy's because there's no way that they could possibly even try to rationalize I fired somebody with an intellectual disability because they weren't normal. There's no way they'll give a good answer because there's never going to be a good answer. I talked to my wife about this a little bit, and I know you guys, oh, you're my wife. My wife works with people with Down syndrome. She talked about how there's potentially different things in infrastructure that would support this person who's working for Wendy's. There's potentially, if they need it, a work coach. This is actually a thing that apparently people do sometimes. If they qualify, they can get a work coach to help them go to work. So it would be your job to go and do someone else's job for them. But basically, and then she talked about how like there can be limitations on some people with disabilities based on what they are able to do, which makes perfect sense. It's often like, you know, sometimes like 16 or 14-year-olds, like they can't use like anything sharp and they have to work within these limitations. Well, some people that have like Down syndrome might also have those limitations depending on how much they're able to perform. Additionally, you don't have to pay them a livable wage. So, you know, I'm not. So it's very interesting actually. Because they get paid less. But it's so interesting. I'm going to explain to you why. So people potentially with disabilities, like this person might, get paid less from the company. It's a way to incentivize them working for Wendy's. And you might be like, well, that's really shitty. They should get paid just as much. And I tend to agree. The problem is if they get paid too much, then they might lose their disability services because they make too much money. How fucking crazy. Everything's so complicated. Anyway, let's watch the video.
At 5, outrage tonight over the firing of a longtime local Wendy's employee who has special needs. He was with.
It's possible that the reason that they fired him was because the manager may have wanted to force the worker to do something that's like not within their capabilities, and the person knows their rights. They were able to advocate for themselves, and then they were like, no, and the guy's like, well, you're fired then. And he was almost going to retire, by the way. This guy worked at Wendy's for 22 years, and he almost retired. That's crazy. That's crazy. What a shame.
With the company for the better part of 2 decades. Good evening, I'm Brian Blakely.
And I'm Alicia Barnes. A Queen City News anchor Robin Kennedy is live tonight at the Wendy's in Stanley and Gaston County. Now, Robin, you spoke with the sister of the man who was fired. So how did she even find out about this?
Yeah, Alicia and Brian, it is such an upsetting story. The sister of the man with special needs says her brother's caretaker called the restaurant here to let them know that he was on his way to work. But that's when the sister says the manager told the caretaker he was fired.
Was he late to work? Why were they calling him to let him know they're on his way? Was he consistently late? I wonder if that's the reason. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I wonder if he was like always late. They're like, we have to fire you. I doubt it, but it's possible. Or maybe that's just like oh, you know what? Maybe that is what it is, because maybe they have like public transportation buses that deliver. So at least in my area, they have buses. They're power buses, paratransit buses. Call them scat buses, because we poop all over them. Just kidding. There was a lot of poop on them, though. We clean it up all the time. I used to clean them. Anyway, paratransit, and they would pick people up that were like, disabled in some capacity. Could be physical, could be intellectual, could be developmental, whatever caused them to qualify for the bus. And you would get a window. So you'd be like, I picked up at 7 o'clock, and I need to be home by 10 o'clock. It's like, okay, I believe the window's a half hour. So you'll get picked up from anywhere between 6:45 and 7:15, and you'll be home by anywhere between 9:45 and 10:15, unless we're late, and then you can go fuck yourself, because that's just life. So you'd always want to book as early of a trip as possible. So I wonder if maybe he was late. I know I'm running with an idea, and it had something to do, or maybe he was consistently late and had something to do with like the way that the buses ran in some capacity. I don't really know.
I love you. I love you too.
Kona Turner takes care of her brother.
Shit, he didn't want to put up with her fucking nonsense. You see that?
I love you. I love you.
He's just like, I love you. Get off me.
Kona Turner takes care of her brother, Dennis Peak.
Well, he is my baby brother, and I got guardianship of him when our mom passed. Well, and he's like my kid, he's mine now.
Okay.
Until Wednesday, Dennis was a proud employee of more than 20 years at the Wendy's on Highway 27 in Stanley.
I love my job, Wendy's.
Okay.
I work here. No time.
You will never find anybody who's worked at Wendy's for 22 years saying that they love their job at Wendy's. I don't know why the fuck you would fire this guy. What the hell's the matter with you? They're probably paying him like $3 an hour, and you're like, oh, he can't perform the job I need him to. Wendy's is right, dude.
Dennis washed tables and chairs. His family liked to stop it.
Yeah, see, like he probably, what was I saying? Like, there's probably a pretty big limitation. He may only be able to do tables and chairs and wipe stuff down, but like he's also, they're getting like, he's not getting paid full wage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, how the fuck are you gonna complain, bro?
In and see him at the restaurant. But without warning Wednesday, Kona found out her brother had been fired from his job.
She just terminated him. She said she had a job that needed to be done and he wasn't doing it.
Yup. I think my wife was right. This motherfucker probably wanted him to do some shit that wasn't in his job description. Probably somebody that wasn't in the job description. And they fired him because he's like, I can't fucking do it, bro. He probably he may specifically be hired to like wash down tables and chairs and like wipe surfaces, which is totally fine. So, but then like they couldn't get him to do something that wasn't in his description, and boom, they fired the guy.
Kona says she tried to talk with the manager, but couldn't get anywhere with her.
Of course, dude. Wendy's. I actually like Wendy's. It's not bad. Wendy's and nuts are in your mouth. Got it.
I was very upset. I was very upset.
Kona posted about the ordeal on Facebook.
My brother Dennis, she doesn't even know punctuation. Idiot. Just kidding. Well, I'm serious, but anyway. My brother, she's not an idiot. I was just joking. Anyway. My brother Dennis has worked at Wendy's in Stanley for over 20 years, and I am heartbroken to say they have fired him. His dream was to retire from there one day, and he was just looking forward to having a huge retirement party. He probably was, bro. He's probably like, I can't wait to retire and get a big party. It's probably like a fucking lifelong goal for this guy. We may just give him that party and tell him he's retired because he doesn't understand being fired. That's sad. They told me, wait, damn, I wonder what they told him when he wasn't allowed in there anymore. It's like, you just can't go in there anymore. He's like, that sucks. I'm fucking sad. They told me he was unable to perform the duties of a normal person job. I am looking into a wrongful termination of a special needs employee. Wish me luck. I'm very disappointed with the management of Wendy's and Stanley. They have no idea how they hurt my brother. Yeah, that's fair. Totally fair.
Facebook.
It just melted my heart. I'm sorry.
My wife asked, did we find why he was fired? It sounds like the manager asked him to do something that wasn't within his either job capabilities or the job requirements, most likely, because it sounds like they said he was just hired to wipe down tables and chairs. And so they fired him. That's what it kind of seems like.
The owners of the franchise tell Queen City News in part, quote, "We are committed to creating a welcoming and inclusive environment for our employees and our customers.
Damn.
This was an unfortunate mistake and lapse in protocol."
Oh, dude, Wendy's just fucking shitting and farting right now, dude. Wow, what do you do? Oh, my God.
Wendy's offered Dennis his job back. Kona doesn't.
Why would you want to go back after that, though? You know what I mean? Would you want to go back after they fucking you like that? He probably would because he doesn't understand.
Doesn't know if they'll accept.
I will not let anybody mistreat my brother.
All right.
I will not let them be mean to him.
Okay.
Now, Kona says there should be consequences.
Let me just be honest with you, and I could be 100% wrong. Listen, grain of salt, all right? High blood pressure. That's how many grains of salt I want you to take this with. The sister comes off as a little disingenuous, and the fucking guy doesn't seem to really want to be around her. Maybe that's just me. I could be completely wrong. That's just a feeling I get, but my feelings aren't always correct, and I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to bring that up, okay? Just take that with a grain of salt.
For mistreating workers. I specifically asked Wendy's corporate if the manager who fired Dennis is being disciplined. They said they cannot comment on personnel matters, but they do tell me they're taking appropriate action.
That's good. Frankly, I don't think that person should get fired. And I'm not trying to be rude. They need to be punished. They probably need like a sensitivity course for people with like disability. Well, just in general, they probably need to do like some kind of a sensitivity course. But I don't think the manager should get fired. Like that was the wrong thing to do. People fuck up every day. That person needs to be punished, but it should be some kind of a retraining. Honestly, I think that's what they should be. They rectified the situation. They gave the guy his job back, which is a good right thing to do. And then I think that they need to punish the manager, possibly transfer the manager to a different place. Because you can't punish the employee by moving them, and retrain her.
Reporting live in Stanley, Robin.
You think I just don't understand Southern charm? That's fair.
Queen City News.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe I just don't understand Southern charm. The other, it's one of those things where I'm very used to going to the Chinese buffet. And if Asian restaurants, when it comes to hospitality, 3 out of 5 stars, and it's a cultural thing. I'm totally fine with it. Because if it's too good, if the hospitality at an Asian restaurant is 4.5 to 5 star, it's not going to be a good restaurant. It's too American at that point. You need to be, and that's who I'm used to. So when people are too nice to me, I'm like, ugh. Ugh. It's like, oh, gross. You know what I mean? I can't. So maybe I just don't understand the Southern charm. Southern charm. Maybe that's all it is. Okay. Pogger's video. I'm in a lawsuit and wrongful termination when I was working the IRS. Shit really traumatized me and was spending all my time in therapy talking about work. Damn, that sucks. Interesting. Interesting video. Good. That one was good. That one was good. Femboys and masculinity. We have some interesting fucking videos here to watch. Oh, I wanted to kind of watch this. It's a very short clip, but I wouldn't go back with the same employer, but to be fair, he doesn't have much options. Well, I don't think it's a much options thing. I think more than anything else is that like he just wants to work and like he doesn't even really understand. That's what they said, that he doesn't really understand the being fired thing. So, you know, that's what it is. Yeah, I like to be ignored a little bit. That's why I married my wife. You know, she's the love of my life, but she's so mean to me. I'm just kidding, baby. You know, that's really what it boils down to. Check this out. They look like Ash Ketchum from Palatown. I want to be the very best. You want to go to bed? All right, have a good one. Take care, Brandon. Have a good night. I think I look like really weird right now. I look really stupid. Kind of defeats the purpose of the hat. All right, kind of defeats the purpose of the hat. How about a sideways part? Do I look like TJ Detwild? I made that joke before. I gotta be careful. I don't know if we're gonna do the Shademan video right now. Maybe in the future. There's stuff to talk about that you know what I mean? That's like filler stuff. It's interesting, but it's like filler stuff. What's my favorite soda? Bro, a good old diet root beer. I actually like diet root beer more than I like regular flavors. I like the Diet Coke better than regular Coke. I'll tell you one thing. Have you guys tried Dream Coke? Dream Coke is very sweet. It's too much. It's way too much. The Dream Coke is too much. It was good at first, but it started to become a little too much. Even the diet one. Hey, what's up, Danisha Carter? How are you? Got a celebrity in the chat, guys. Let me show you. Hope I said your name right, by the way. I'm really bad with names. Really bad with names. This is a celebrity that we have in the chat right now. Oh, look, you talked about JustPearlyThings. That's a favorite. That's a favorite that we like to talk to here. I feel so bad for this girl because I remember she reached out to me when I was actually big on TikTok. When I actually had a TikTok, and she was like, "How do I get started streaming?" Something like that. And I would talk to her a little bit, and then I forgot it was her. I just knew that she was Angry Reaction's girlfriend, and now 2 years or 3 years later, she's just devaluing women for their looks. So unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. I know, it's so sad. So sad. Hey, Papa Gut. I've had cancer for a while now, so I didn't get in the stream, but I'm getting better. Well, that's good. That's very good. I'm happy that you're working through your cancer, brother. That shit's fucking rough. So keep a positive spirit. Keep a positive spirit, because that could be the big difference between like success and fucking failure, brother. The real thing. People die of a broken heart. You know, stay strong. Stay strong. Yeah, she did. She's not a bad person. I feel, you know what it is? I feel like if you look at her YouTube. So here's the problem. It's like, I need to get a new fucking keyboard. Sorry. I have anger problems. Well, maybe, I don't know. I'm getting pissed off. I have a keyboard. Every time I knock into it, it breaks. Like, pieces fly off. It's fucking irritating. I've like 6 times during the stream. Anyway, if you look at her content, I think this is pretty standard for a lot of content creators. She does all Manosphere. If she ever deviated from Manosphere content, her career's over. You know? It's terrible for her. She's got nothing else. I don't think that she's going to last too long, though. Honestly. I watch your videos while I'm in bed. I love your corny jokes. Thank you so much. I'm not going to take that as an insult. I'm going to take that as a compliment. I'm going to take that as a fucking compliment. I'm going to watch your video now live on stream because you popped in the chat. All right. Let's see. All right. Looks like, okay.
Also, shout out to everyone that has been making me all these videos about me on TikTok. I get to do my dream job every single day.
Bro, there's no way.
And
I watched the video. I actually reacted to it on my secondary channel from JustPearlyThings, where she's like, the whales came after me. And if you watch that video all the way through, I don't know if I can find it. She posts a lot of like shorts and stuff. But if you watch that video, she's broken by the end. She's almost on like the verge of crying. It's so sad. So, like, this isn't her dream job. It's everybody's fundamentally a dream job to be, like, famous on the internet and make money off of it. but it's eating at her mental health. And as she gets older, I don't think that she's going to be able to put up with basically just disrespecting women as her entire platform.
You crazy people are the ones helping me do it. So shout out to you.
Whoa. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Somebody said, so your reasoning she's not a bad person is because she got pigeonholed herself into the category of the content. That's a dumb take. It's not a dumb take to be a person. Come on. You know, I know that you have every right to hate her because she's a real piece of shit asshole. So that's fine. I understand that. But like, I'm not like, you know, I'm not invested. Like, listen, not for nothing. This is one of the most amazing things. Listen, let me explain something to you. This is one of the most amazing things about being a straight, white, cisgendered male. People don't understand, okay? There's almost no topic that I am personally like invested in super heavily, which means that like it's easier for me to not be biased because I don't have like an emotional, there's things that I get emotional about. And for people who follow me a lot, they know what those are. But like, that's what makes it easier. I'm not super, so I could sit back, then I don't get, like, it's not, so for a woman to watch her and be like, fat women don't deserve love, I could see why you think that she's a real fucking piece of shit. I totally get that. But for me, it's different. It's a little easier, you know what I mean? It's easier for me to step back and be like, I can understand where she's coming from as somebody who kind of went down like the manosphere pipeline, right? So that's where I'm coming from, if that makes sense. Right? That's pretty much it, you know?
And she's right. The reason I didn't respond to her video about women over 300 pounds being ugly was because she wanted attention. It was inflammatory.
She always wants attention.
And it went viral. The reason I didn't post a video giving my opinion on Brit Barbie despite being asked was because she wanted attention.
Which one is Brit Barbie? Is that period? Which one is that? Did I do it right? Period. Period.
It was controversial, and it went viral. The reason I'm not joining the conversation about a specific black celebrity who stirs up controversy every 3 months whenever they want attention is because it helps their bad behavior get.
Who is that? Is that Dave Chappelle? I don't know who we're talking about.
Attention. Outrage marketing will never end because people always fall for it.
Bro.
It always works. The public.
Well, it's like this almost parasitic back and forth behavior. Where it's like, let's be completely real. A lot of content creators will pretend this isn't true, but let's be real. When JustPearlyThings makes her content, it gives other people content to make off of, and so they almost enjoy to have somebody to go look at that fucking idiot. Everybody does, and Pearl believes the same about her content. She gets to look at some people and just feel the same way. Let's be honest, like I engage in that too. I care about what I make content. Like when I speak out against her, I care about what I'm saying, and I'm hoping people will watch it and be like, oh, I get where you're coming from. But the reality is that it's like, it gives good content for people. That's like, oh, I get to talk about something. It's just the truth, bro. Really is just the truth.
Public is a slot machine of free money because it can never control its emotions. As content creators, especially large ones, we are constantly caught.
Come on, I know I'm fat, but you don't have to say that.
Between attacking and defeating problematic rhetoric or behavior, which simultaneously platforms it, or ignoring it, not boosting it, but allowing it to exist on its own. And it's a tough spot to be in. I get it. I know it. I have a system that helps me decide what I'm going to respond to or ignore.
I get that. I like to talk about manosphere shit, though, because I feel like it makes young men shitty, worthless men, unfortunately. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy talking about, like, manosphere fundamentally. I really enjoy, I hope that like I can point some young men in the right direction when they look at it and go like, see, because there's a lot of young men who are just feeling disenfranchised by the world, and you know, and they gravitate towards people like JustPearlyThings because like JustPearlyThings, you know, speaks their language of like, I'm oppressed in some capacity, and then you kind of get pulled into like the vortex of souls there when it's like, yeah, you know, the solution is much simpler and doesn't necessarily require hating women and berating fat women just to make you feel better, you know what I mean?
Because sometimes, like now, I do respond. But going into next year, I want us to undo the system hacking that provocateurs have done, which is in essence knowing they can piss people off whenever they want to and garner infamy and money from it without fail. And we are going to undo that by either no longer giving attention to things that are clearly cries for attention, i.e. not letting things that are upsetting you on purpose upset you, or by giving attention because sometimes it's necessary, but only with a purpose and a time limit, i.e. responding to someone or something one time, but afterwards anything else they do, we completely ignore.
That makes sense. That's a good point. That's a very fair point, actually. Because there are some content creators who will just really like desperately try to elongate interactions, you know, just for that attention. I get that. I made multiple videos about like the same topic, so I guess I'm kind of like a victim of the back and forth a little bit too. But that's a good point. Yeah. Like make your like one stance on it and then kind of like move forward. I understand that. Well, it makes sense.
The reason that virtue signaling and pandering and rage baiting are so easy is because the scripts are simple. That means we should be able to identify them by now and know better. People having conversations or sharing opinions that happen to piss people off is very different from having a conversation or sharing an opinion to piss people off.
True.
And they are displayed
Very true.
in very different ways. Attention is currency. 2023, let's spend it more responsibly.
That's a good point. Because and that's what the biggest thing about the manosphere. It's like they say, we're just speaking facts, bro. We're just speaking facts, and you don't want to admit it. It's not that you're speaking facts. You're trying to be antagonistic, right? So when she said fat women don't deserve love, she's not having a nuance. Like, she doesn't have a controversial take that's like a hard pill to swallow. She's just being kind of a bitch, right? But if she said, hey, if you're, let's be honest, if you lose weight, it'll make it easier for you to find a partner. That is like a non-disrespectful, reasonable take that, like, yeah, if you weren't so heavy, it would make your life like a little bit easier. Honestly, it's just the truth. That is something that might spark a little, though nobody's gonna really give a shit, but that's something that's like a little bit, could be a hard pill to swallow, especially for fat people. I'm fat myself, so I could say whatever I want. But it's not disrespectful. It's just a blunt take versus what she's doing, where she's like, fat people need to die. And then, of course, it's just like, no, they don't need to die. That's where that whole fucking thing comes from.
My boy Santi became a member.
Hey, thanks for the membership, brother. By the way, fat people need to die. I'm just kidding. Oh, Lord. I forgot about my first time donating a kidney. What the fuck are you guys talking about kidneys for? I'm so fucking confused, bro. I'm so fucking confused. I'm so confused. Oh, you gave, who's Demi? Oh, you gave a kidney and a lung to a cancer surviving orphan. Wow. What the fuck's happening in my chat? You guys are getting a little rowdy in here tonight, okay? A little bit of rowdy rough boys from the Powerpuff Girls, okay? Jesus Christ. I'm fat too, so it's okay. Yeah, see? Yeah. Fat pride, am I right? Okay, listen, I'm going to time you out, brother. I'm not going to, Dimitri, I'm going to time you out. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm going to time you out. I understand you're having a little bit of fun and you're probably shooting your shot because you see that Danisha, right? I got your name right? I have to make sure because I'm really bad with names. Is in the chat and she's a famous TikToker and like she's an objectively like attractive girl, but you don't need to harass every woman in the chat that you find attractive. I don't want to set the standard that that's an okay thing to do because that's going to make her feel fucking uncomfortable stopping back into the goddamn chat. So I'm going to time you out. Just be a little more respectful. I know you're not trying to be disrespectful. I'm going to time you out as well. You guys are being a little too extra. You're being a little bit immature. Okay, I don't think you're bad guys. I know you're just having a little bit of fun, and you're shooting your long shot, but like just chill out a little bit. Just chill out a little bit. It's a little too much, all right? You got to try not to make people uncomfortable, okay? Especially since you're in my chat, and I want to make people comfortable. All right. Yeah, my chatters win women. Hey, you know what? It's better than my chatters are like simping for girls that come into the chat rather than them just being like, get the fuck out of here, I hate women. I at least I have the right type of incel behavior, for lack of a better term. Okay, you want me to time you out too? All right, I'll time you out, brother. I'll time you out as well. Here you go. Just because you asked me to. Just because you asked me. It's rowdy as fuck. Exactly. You know what it is? The reality is I don't really care. I just don't want you simming for anybody else but myself. Okay, I'm very vain. So you only are allowed to simp for me in the chat, and you can't simp for anybody else. Okay. So that's what I really meant to say. You're only simpleton for me. All right. How's that sound? All right, guys. Thoughts on Jeffrey Dahmer series? I've never watched it. Bro, you want to know my thoughts on the Jeffrey Dahmer series? Women need to stop being in love with serial killers. I don't fucking get it. Okay? Listen, I'm all for equal rights. Women are equal, but for whatever reason, women love toxic men. I don't understand why you love toxic men so much. It's fucking bizarre. You guys are almost doing it to yourselves sometimes. How do you guys idolize serial killers? God, I love serial killers. Why? It's not even the right kind of serial killer. I kill cereal all the time. I'm fucking tons of it. Boom, boom, boom. 200 grams of sugar worth of cereal a day. That's a half a serving. That's how much sugar's in cereal. We got to simp for some guy who fucking eats people. He's gay. Isn't he gay? Didn't he eat guys? He wouldn't even be into you and you're simping for him. It doesn't even make sense. How are you guys going to love? I don't get it. But for real, that shit's fucked up. The fact that people are like, it's the fact that we even made a series about that is kind of disrespectful to everybody that he murdered. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's the same thing as like it's like on the same level of like the school shooter shit, where nowadays school shooters, they just want to shoot up a school so that they can get the high score, and they know that their name's going to be in like their names are going to be in the media. And like that's what they're looking for. There's some fucking like losers who want to be in the media in some capacity, so they go and shoot up a school. They know they're not going to get hurt. You know, like they know that the police officers will usually just bring them in peacefully. You know, like look at fucking like is it Dylan Roof? Is that the one I'm thinking of? You know, it's disrespectful to everybody who got shot. And it's like, hey, let's make a series about it. It's like, holy fuck, the people that were killed had their lives taken, but this person gets immortalized in media for the rest of their lives. It's fucking insane to me. It's crazy. That's fucking nuts, you know? That's the part that I think is fucking crazy. So, all right, you Goombas from the popular hit video game Mario. Specifically Mario 64. Jesus Christ, Frank, yeah, chill out. Jesus fuck. Yeah, they romanticize it too. And now there's a TikTok trend of like something to do with meat. Shit's nuts. All right, let me get into this video. So I saw Trixie Mattel talk about this video. I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I think it's Trixie Mattel. My wife likes Trixie and Tate. Maybe Trixie. Who does Trixie Mattel work with? Toys R Us, right? Wow, I cracked myself up. I'm so funny. Mattel is a popular toy brand, and so the joke made me giggle. Anyway, I saw that they reacted to this. I think that Trixie's a guy, but when Trixie's in drag, you call them a girl. Those are the rules that I'm aware. I don't know how it all works. It's okay because I'm ignorant. I got to hide behind that. Katya. Trixie and Katya. Anyway, I saw them talk about this, so I wanted to talk about it. This is called Drag Queens Are a Mockery of God's Design for Womanhood. Wow, incredible. Let's get this started.
Going to give into the delusion. This is not going to help all. We are not going to give into the delusion. This is not going to help all of the major mental breakdowns that are going on in our world and suicide. Like, this is not.
Yeah, I'm going to be for real, though. I'm not trying to be rude because I respect all my religious brothers and sisters in Christ and God and Allah and all that. But I mean, for you to kind of mock someone else for having a delusion when. I'm not trying to be rude, but like, where's God, bro? Like, hello? You know what I mean? There's no proof. You could feel what you want, but couldn't we consider that giving into a delusion? I'm just saying. Maybe it's not. Don't hurt me if you're real, God. But I'm just saying. Feels a little weird. Feels a little hypocritical. Feels a little bit hypocritical.
Helping it by affirming that, one, men can be women, or two, men should dress up like women and they'll put on fake breasts that are way oversized, massive rears, you know, like wear very skimpy clothing and dance around and twerk and do all this stuff. Like, this is insane. No wonder we have problems.
So there's a lot going on there. We talk drag and trans people are not the same. Like, I just want you to understand, drag queens are usually, almost always, gay dudes dressing like girls, and it's usually actually dressing like women, specifically like popular actors or singers, and imitating them in a way that is supposed to be positive. And what's so interesting is that like back in the day, if you know a little bit of drag culture, of course I do a little bit. My wife has a lot of gay friends and they like drag, and you know it's weird to me, but whatever. It didn't used to always be as sexual as it is today. Back in the day, they would like it'd be like, I'm gonna dress like Aretha Franklin and sing, and like I love her, you know what I mean, like respectable, strong women, frankly, you know. And now music culture has shifted to be very sexualized, and so like people doing drag are still imitating like singers and actors, but they tend to be very sexualized because, especially the singers, because that's the trend of what's going on. And so we're criticizing drag queens for being very sexualized, but you know, we don't criticize the women who are being very sexual. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? They're both just being kind of sexual. Now, if you don't think kids should be at a drag show, I can understand that, and I would tend to agree with you because I think most of them tend to be very sexualized, although not all of them will be. It depends on the PG rating of it. But like fundamentally, you're shitting on women sexualizing themselves, but you're not shitting on them, which I don't think that you should be, but then you're shitting on the men for imitating them. I feel like that's kind of shitty. That being said, there's also, they were talking about trans people. Trans women and people who dress in drag aren't the same thing. Back in the day, they might have actually been, when it wasn't acceptable to be like trans, when there wasn't like available surgeries and different gender affirming care. There might have been, you know, people who would consider themselves gay men in drag, but they wouldn't necessarily be trans because that wasn't an available option back then. So it's interesting, the ideas that, you know, could pop in. So yeah.
What's up, everybody? It is Kristen and Bethany here, sisters, and we're so glad you're joining.
I love like the Ned's Declassified intro. Let's go back to that.
What's up, everybody? It is Kristen and Bethany here, sisters, and we're so glad you're joining us for this conversation because we need to talk about this. This is something we've been wanting to talk about for a while: drag queens. And
I want to be very interested. I want to say something here. It's a little bit different criticism. Okay. Listen. So let's say there's fundamentally two different types of like content creators. There are content creators who will hear a situation and speak their mind. And then there's content creators who will sit back and wait to feel out the way that the sphere feels about a topic before speaking their mind to see if it's safe enough to talk about. Now, we've been having the conversation about kids in drag and like drag stuff and all this shit for like, what, 6 months to a year now? And I've been on top of it from the start, you know, exploring how I feel about it because it's a new idea. And they kind of waited. Now, they might have waited just so that they can really explore their ideas on what they're talking about. They also might have waited to see if it's safe for them to talk about this topic without getting canceled. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm just bringing it up. It could be wrong. I'm just bringing it up.
The fact that it has become so mainstream, it is so popular, it is something that we're told children should be exposed to. It will give them sexual diversity, opportunity. You know, they're young.
I have never heard those arguments.
Minds are so moldable, and we want to shape them in the right way. In fact, something happened recently in our own backyard, not literally, but in Texas.
I've seen some like weird shit where they're like bringing kids to drag shows that are too sexual. I'm not saying I agree with that, but I don't think that the public narrative is screaming that. I think if anything, some progressives are too afraid to call it out when they see it because they don't want to be like chastised and pushed out of like the more left-leaning spheres. That's possible. That's a reasonable criticism you can make. You could also make a criticism though that there are conservatives who are specifically rooting out and like finding these instances so that they can talk about them as if this is everything going on. It's like if you find the most crazy racist like fucking Trump supporter and you go, see, this is every Trump supporter, is the same thing as finding like some fucking crazy drag queen who like loves to fucking masturbate in front of kids. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where sometimes both sides do this. They'll pick out an instance or a series of instances that are happening and go like, this is the representative of the entire community of LGBTQ people, which feels like some of the undertone of the conversation when we have the conversation, right? Right? Like when they say that's what it kind of feels like some of the undertone of the conversation is when they say stuff like they want you to the people want you to be exposed to this, they want you to it's gone from like, hey, these are instances that need to be called out because I find them inappropriate, which is totally fair, to like this is a undertone almost potentially a dog whistle of saying like the LGBTQ community is trying to force you to watch fucking drag queens, and it's like, okay, maybe you're going a little too far. Maybe you're taking it a little bit. Maybe you're taking it a little bit too far.
Texas. I whacked myself in the face. Okay. We're from San Antonio, so not too far away, Dallas, Texas. This was in the news a lot, so you probably heard about it, but there was a big drag show, and it was literally titled Drag the Kids to Pride, a family-friendly...
Yeah, Drag Your Kids to Pride happened like how long ago? Wait. This happened a very long time ago. This was like the first event. This was the event that started it all. This was in June. This is 2 months before this. Okay, so they waited.
Drag show. That's how it was advertised. And basically, they were saying this is the ultimate family-friendly drag show. Come, bring your family, bring your little kids. We're going to have drag performers.
There could be family-friendly drag shows, by the way. I don't think that one was, by the way, from what I saw. Again, we talked about drag isn't always sexual. Drag is supposed to be like kind of parodying or imitating in like a respectful way of like famous musicians. And again, we have this issue when it comes to like grown men or dressing like popular artists and being very sexual, but we don't seem to have that issue when it comes to those artists themselves being just as, if not more, sexual. So like, you know, like they're grown artists as well. You know what I mean? I still don't think you should be taking your kids to that shit, but I don't think you should be taking your kids to a fucking overly sexualized, like, I don't know, Ariana Grande concert where she's doing the splits, or Dua Lipa. Probably shouldn't bring your kids there either. You know what I mean? But also, in Dua Lipa's defense, she doesn't advertise it as a kids-friendly show. I think that was probably the biggest problem of the Drag Your Kids to Pride, was that it was exclusively bring your kids. It's not like some kids happen to show up because parents that I feel maybe should be more responsible. It's that they exclusively made an event for kids. It gets a little bit crazy. I'll tell you that.
In a nightclub, by the way. You know, there's going to be dancing, and they even said, in fact, we're going to have 5 spots open for kids to join the stage to dance with the drag performers, and it's going to be this wonderful family-friendly night. You know, let's go.
I love Doopy
And
Loopy.
in fact, when I saw some articles and some videos about this event, there was a huge neon sign in the background that literally said, it's not going to lick itself.
True.
We don't need to give you any more.
That's just telling kids. You know who else said that? The owl. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Let's find out. And then he licks it 3 times and he bites it. The owl made that sign. You guys think it was sexual, but it was really just a Tootsie Pop commercial, and you just didn't understand it because you're not old enough to understand that.
You know, information about that, details. You can probably guess what that means in a nightclub like this. And so here we have this event, and it's being
Probably wasn't appropriate to have that backside like that, though.
applauded by so
Should have just thrown like a sheet over it.
many in society saying this is awesome. You know, these pictures of these kids, you know, tipping these dancers who, by the way, are drag queens. So men dressed as very provocative, very, very sexually explicit women in their costumes, in their...
I would just ask you what you feel, how you feel about the women that they're dressing as, like, because a lot of times I've pushed some conservatives on this, and they're like, "Well, I think that's bad too, that the girls sexualize themselves." And it's like, well, how come you don't call it out until all of a sudden drag queens are involved? And it's like, well, because you don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, I've always thought of like, why we're so like, not for nothing, we're so fucking outraged about bringing your kids to a drag show, but not one of you motherfuckers is outraged by literal children doing cheerleading. Disgusting. Okay, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like some of the moves that these young girls do, where they're like, they push their chest out and they're like showing their ass. You should be offended by that. And you're not, and I find it to be a little bit weird that when it comes to sexualizing little girls, you guys are turning a blind eye, but then all of a sudden a young boy goes to a drag show. And again, I don't agree with it when it's too sexual of a show, but like, you're not fucking calling that out. Like, I mean, you're only calling that out. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's fucking, I don't know, it's just crazy to me.
Lingerie-like costumes, dancing before children, and children are tipping them. Like, it's so perverted, it's so disgusting, it's so shocking that parents would think this is a healthy, mentally, you know, healthy thing to bring their kids to. And so we just want to talk about it because truly, as we look at God's design for the man and the woman, drag queens, and the celebration of
God's plan.
This sort of entertainment is such a mockery on God's design for womanhood.
Oh yeah, and to say like
A mockery? Oh, why do you mean a mockery for? Okay.
But we need to be supporting this. Like, no, we are not going to give into the delusion. This is not going to help all of the major mental breakdowns that are going on in our world and suicide. Like, this is not helping it by affirming that, oh yes, you know, like, you know, 1, men can be women, or 2, men should dress up like women.
But this is like, trans people are very different from drag queens. Let's just be very explicitly honest. Drag queens are just some gay dudes that are having fun dressing like women, and they're having fun. Who cares? I don't think that kids should generally be going to these shows when they're the sexualized shows at all. I agree with that. But fundamentally, who gives a fuck once you're an adult? They're just people having fun. And that's it. Like, that's the weird part, is that we have to shit on all drag. Like, but just be like, yeah, I don't think kids should be going to drag. Oh, that makes sense. That's fair. I totally respect that. But like, dude, drag queens are funny. They're cool. Who gives a shit? You know, you got drag queens of Cher. They're just trying to have fun. Who wouldn't idolize Cher? You'd have to have a fucking mental disorder to not love Cher, if anything. Okay?
And, put on fake breasts that are way oversized, massive.
Yeah, you're just jealous because you got small tits.
Years, like wear very skimpy clothing and dance around and twerk and do all this stuff. Like, this is insane. No wonder we have problems.
Yeah, the drag queens must have been the problems. That must have done it. That is clearly the problem with the world.
But here at Girl Defined, we are striving to...
You know what the biggest problem in the world right now is, I think? Not the biggest. Everybody has a podcast. I'm going through TikTok. Everybody has a podcast. I understand celebrities having podcasts. Everybody has a fucking podcast. Yeah, toddlers and tiaras. What the fuck was that? Nobody's calling out toddlers and tiaras. That shit's just funny. Like, look at these kids. It's disgusting. It doesn't, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let's start there. Hey, let me fucking condition my 4-year-old to just be completely to be judged by fucking pedophile judges all day. It's like, holy fuck, bro. And you're shitting and coming over fundamentally drag. You're not just bringing it specifically to drag when it comes to kids. You're like, all drag in general is bad. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Share a biblical worldview, get back to God's design, because he is a good creator. And one of the ways we do that...
God's not a very good creator. He hasn't made content in like 2,000 years. He's not a very good creator, okay? Not a very good content creator, honestly. He's worse than D'Angelo Wallace with the amount of time between videos he posts. Let's be honest here.
That is over on Patreon. So we have an incredible community. Thank you to all of you who are patrons, supporters, who support our videos with $1 or $2 or $3 per video per month. And it's just a simple way that you can say, yes, I like what you're doing at Girl Defined. I want to be a part of this community, and I'm just going to show my support in a simple way.
Yeah, you're better off just going to church and giving them money. Probably more intelligent than that.
And so
I'm sorry,
our way of saying thank you is by giving you free resources like...
Well, they're paying for it, so it's not free, but okay.
5 strategies to find freedom from sexual sin.
What is that? Bro, what do you mean? Freedom from sexual sin? What?
This one you can actually get completely for free. girldefined.com/freedom. Other guides that we offer: battling sexual temptation, 50 questions to deepen your friendships.
Do you like? I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like most of the people who are like all over the battling temptation, like anti-sex, like religious movement, are people who don't have like super high sex drives, and maybe never got good like dick or good pussy or something, and so now they're just like, this is really easy. You know what I mean?
5 strategies for thriving as a single girl, a Christian girl's breakup survival guide. The list goes on.
There's so many, it's hard to hold them all.
I know. These aren't even all of them. So when you sign up, patreon.com/girldefined, you get access not only to the private community and the amazing sisterhood and their private Q&As, things like that.
The only sisterhood I'm going to be on with is Sisterhood from Sister Act 1 and Sister Act 2 with Whoopi Goldberg. Okay. And also one of the 3 witches from that Sanderson Sisters show movie. She's one of the sisters. She's in Sister Act and the Sanderson Sisters. I forget what the movie's called with the Sanderson Sisters. I think it's called Hotel Transylvania. But she's in both of those. Learned that the other day. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy.
You get access to all of these free guides from the past and any ones that come out while you are a patron. So
Hocus Pocus. That's what it was. Nobody even said that in the chat. I just remembered it right off the. I'm very quick, mentally very quick.
The best deal ever.
Nuns on the run.
Someone said, following up on that drag event that happened in Dallas, Texas, someone literally said, because of course there was pushback. Thankfully, hallelujah, there are still people out there who are pushing back and saying, I don't think this is healthy for kids. I don't think this is a really good family event. Maybe try the zoo. Maybe try a museum. And so someone came out and said, anyone who thinks drag isn't for children is wrong. Drag is expression, and children are such judgment-free beings. They don't really care what you're wearing.
See, that's, well, for one thing, that's nice about some kids. But like my thing is like the person that they're reading has like 1 like on Twitter. You know what I mean? And they're like, see, look at these fucking and these people are fucking crazy that are like, yeah, definitely bring your kids to a drag show. But it's like you're not talking about like most people are not this fucking delusional to like be like, yeah, we should bring our kids exclusively to a sexualized drag show at a fucking nightclub that had like a lick your cock in the background. You know what I mean? We know that you know, most people aren't that dumb as fucking Unhinged. A lot of it is like fucking hyper insane fucking virtue signaling woke leftists that are desperate to be affirming to the point of fucking catastrophe. That's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like it's the parents where like a kid going to a drag show is not going to ruin their life or change them in any significant way. But it's like the pattern of some of these parents bringing their kids to this thing and they're like from birth, they're like, choose your own gender. Like that bullshit, like absolutely fucking dumb ideology. That's fucking nuts. Like me personally, I'm going to have kids. And then if my kid's a biological boy, I'm going to call them a boy. And if they're a biological girl, I'm going to call them a girl because they're a boy and a girl. And as they get older, if they do express some kind of gender dysphoric, feelings in some capacity, I will take the proper steps to bring them to a trusted therapist that can help them navigate that problem. Right? That's perfectly reasonable. That's how everybody should interact because you don't want your kid to have gender dysphoria in any capacity. Most people identify as non-binary. They're not exactly like super duper happy. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not saying that they're bad people, but a lot of times there's like some underlying issues with like part of it could be their gender ideology. I don't want my kid to be trans. If they are, I'm going to love them, accept them, and I'm going to support them, but I don't want to potentially have them be trans. And like, I'm not going to be like, choose your gender, I'm not going to confuse my kid. I'm going to tell them what they are. And then as they get older, if that changes a little bit, like that's perfectly fine. But like, that's what the fucking issue is these like fucking pandering dumb fuck parents that are just insane, you know?
Just what you're performing. Oh, really? Yes, they are in many ways judgment-free beings. It's because they don't have judgment. They're children. Like in so many ways, their mind is being.
I like that we're in the hour 2 of the stream and somebody put a comment in the chat and they're like, at the time IShowSpeed wasn't verified. That segment's like an hour old. And this guy, God bless you. I swear to God, God bless you when you see this. This guy's still watching. You know what I mean? He's like, sees behind a little bit. He's like, no, this is happening right now. That happened an hour and a half ago, brother.
Formed. Their worldview is being formed. What they think about sexuality, what they think about everything is being formed. It's like Play-Doh, like soft Play-Doh being molded and formed. And that is the job of parents to help guide and strengthen and grow their children in a healthy way. So
but it sounds like you guys are very anti-sex. It's probably not the super healthiest way though. Like you guys are not really adhering to like a healthy sexual dynamic or standard, right? Like it sounds like you guys are, it seems like, and I could be wrong, but based on the fucking ridiculous material they showed us, they're very like anti-sex, like especially before marriage. You're going to have your kid get a bunch of pent up fucking sexual energy. You're probably not going to educate them correctly because very religious people tend to be abstinence specific when it comes to their education on sex, which causes kids to lash out more and end up having more sex and then getting STDs, right? Instead of actually like healthily and honestly teaching them about sex and masturbation at an appropriate age. You're not going to teach your fucking 6-year-old how to masturbate, but like at an appropriate age, teaching them like the proper way to like, you know, go through these things so that they don't go fucking ballistic and crazy, right? Like if you teach kids abstinence free, but I remember in school people that you teach the kids like, you will get a fucking STD and you will die. What happens? The kids are horny, they fuck, they're afraid, but they fuck, they don't get an STD and they don't die, so then they start fucking more. This is it. And then all of a sudden everybody's getting STDs because you didn't properly, you know, train them the right way on how to deal with this shit. Right? Okay?
They can grow up to be mentally stable adults, and you're taking young children so impressionable, they don't really have a grasp on what's happening in the world, and you're exposing them to such sexually explicit perversion. Like, how is that going to help them in the long run? So I think it is a form of child abuse.
Probably not.
But that's just 100%. One facet.
I don't know about that,
the other
but
main facet is just the mainstreaming of drag, and how there's like, you were telling me about a show that's really popular for like teens
There's
and like
a new
young
show.
people.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's either come out or it's coming out, and it's basically they take a few young kids, drag, you know, that are drag stars.
Well, I need to know the show to understand the context of what they're talking about, because it could be really bad or they could be misrepresenting it. So what's the show called?
Then they get to basically perform, and it's a whole reality show about these.
I need to understand what you're talking about.
Not only of that, but you know, you have like the library readings, drag queen story hour, and just this massive over sexualization of these adults, which is so creepy to me. Typically
what are we talking
men
about?
Already dressed up like women, now preying on these young children, you know,
literally. They're not preying on young children. Let me be explicitly clear, and this is something people truly need to understand, okay? You need to understand. Most people in the world are acting with good intentions. I think if we could start there, we could all have a really good conversation in general, okay? These two are not grifting. They actually believe this. And if we can acknowledge that, then we can engage with it better. People doing drag are not trying to prey on or groom children. Maybe there's some of them, but there's an absolute outlier. In the same way where it's an absolute outlier that religious people are trying to groom and fucking molest children. It's the same thing, okay? There's bad people in every sphere. Adults that are doing drag around for like shows where children are involved, it's most likely that they are just like, hey, when I was your age, I knew I wanted to do this, and I want to provide a comfortable atmosphere for you to be able to express yourself. I understand that feeling. It doesn't come from some area of trying to be a predator. I can still disagree, though. I could still say, I get where you're coming from, but I still don't think that you should expose children to sexualized drag. But I can acknowledge that they're not just trying to fucking groom children in some capacity to ruin their lives, right? Like, because the reality is that kids are gay. There are kids who are fucking born gay. There are genetic components, there are environmental components, and there's fucking hormone washing. So there's in the womb, and there's womb components. There are kids that are born gay. It just exists. And some of those kids grow up always wanting to have done drag, and then they eventually do drag, and then they look at other gay kids and they're like, I'm an adult now, and I wish here's a comfortable space for you to do what you want to do. Again, I can disagree and be like, yeah, I don't think kids go to sexualized drag shows, but they're not trying to be fucking predatory in nature. And I find it really interesting that we're so aggressive at calling out adults doing drag that's sexualized, but we're not calling out adults who aren't in drag doing sexualized behavior. That's what it comes down to. Some of this comes down to you're uncomfortable when it comes to a man sexualized, like being more sexualized, but when it's a woman sexualizing themselves, you don't give a singular fuck, right? That's what it comes down to. And like these people doing drag, they don't want kids to be horny and masturbate to them. They just think it's fun to do what they're doing. They're not even thinking about the sexualization of it. I mean, in a lot of other countries, we don't even look at sex the same way. They'll censor guns more and sex less because they don't have such like an anti-sex area. Whereas here we don't censor guns, but we censor sex in more a much more heavy capacity, for better or for worse. I tend to think it's generally better. But do you kind of understand like there's this difference there? Nobody's like, oh, Ariana Grande or let's see, probably Dua Lipa just fucking twerking on stage, or Nicki Minaj twerking on stage. Maybe young girls are going there or young boys are going there. Nobody thinks that she's trying to fuck those kids. The drag people aren't trying to fuck those kids either. It's the only point that I'm trying to make here, okay?
Like parents are just handing them over, and I don't even want to know, like 15 years from now, 20 years from now, the stories that are going to come out. And I think there's going to be a massive change because right now, us as adults are the ones putting our children in this situation, putting them
They can't
in the
even
hands
consent,
Yeah,
they're just told, this is good, this is healthy, go for it. Like,
you can make that argument about religion as well, but okay.
this is just the, even taking young boys and dressing them up like over-sexualized women, grown men and women who...
Yeah, I don't think we should do that with young boys. I definitely don't think that kids should be dressing up in drag, especially sexualized drag. Also don't think that young girls should be dressing up sexualized. And it's something that we should bring up more because like it's something that we don't seem to care about as a society when it's women doing it, but we do care when it comes to men. Not a big fan of that shit. Kind of a shitty double standard, don't you think?
Think that's like hot or whatever. That is just horrific to think that we are doing this to our children. And so it's so important to get back to the basic fact that we have a designer, we have a God who loves us, we have a God who cares about us, and he did not make a mistake when he chose to create the male and the female from the beginning of time. He was extremely intentional in creating man and woman and putting them.
Well, if God doesn't make mistakes and there are gay kids and trans kids or gay people and trans people, God did that on purpose then. Okay. God didn't make a mistake. I just want you to be aware of that. Okay. If you like, let's be real.
Within the context of marriage, putting sex and
God made the gays. Okay. Let's just be real here.
Intimacy within the context of marriage, not for just general consumption, but
why do I think people don't demonize cheerleading as much? Because we have a society that normalizes the sexualization of children, of young girls. That's the reality of the situation, bro. The reason why 16 is still the fucking age of consent and 17 is still the age of consent in a ton of states in the United States and across the entire fucking world where it's worse in some countries where it's like 13 and 12 is because as a society, we normalize sexualization of children. It's the unfortunate reality and nobody cares enough to change it. Because it's gross, bro. Young girls doing fucking cheerleading. It's disgusting. Anybody doing cheerleading as a kid is disgusting. You look at these routines, they're high. Bro, honestly, the movie Cuties, and I didn't watch it, but my understanding it's supposed to be about calling out the overly normalized sexualization of children, especially young girls. And like, you know, there's so many people, like Glenn and Cameron's one of them on the internet, but people do this in the real world where it's like, I don't really care about age. It just matters how mature they look. That's been a traditional male perspective for way too long. It's like, I don't care about age as long as they look mature. That's why, bro. And nobody wants to talk about it because it's normal. So people are like, yeah, I don't like it, but it's not a big deal because they fucking find it to be normal. But this shit highlights it where it's like, oh, fuck. You know? And I'm not saying we can't do cheerleading in like a better way. You could probably make cheerleading more PG, but like we're not really doing it. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy. Put your girls in the Boy Scouts. Okay? Oh, dude, you're being that guy. Papa, it's just kids dancing. If you're feeling something, that's on you. Bro, it's so sad when like I'm trying to it's so sad. Like the assertion there is that like I'm a pedophile in some capacity because I can notice that we're putting children in fucking skimpy outfits and having them dance and like having them show off their breast and being very sexualized. And I'm trying to call that out. And the first response is to be like, oh, well, that's a you problem. It's the same people who was like when you have dads that tell their daughters you can't wear that because it's too sexualized, and people are like, oh, the dad wants to fuck his daughter, obviously. And it's like, it's not about that, bro. It's about protecting your kid and not wanting to see your kid like that. I wouldn't want my mother to be in fucking booty shorts either. Okay, I'm not trying to fuck my mother, but if she wore that shit, I'd say, get the fuck away from me. Same thing when I have a daughter, or if I have a daughter, I'm going to tell her she can't wear particular things. You know what I mean? Not everything has to be like, oh my God, I want to fuck that. Sometimes we can understand that there are clothing and there are movements like dancing, some dancing and some clothing that's associated with sexualization that's not appropriate for some people of different age ranges. That's the reality, bro. And like we need to call that out. Nobody really seems to care about like the normalization of like cheerleading and shit, and that shit's fucked up. Some people should start talking about it. We should start like actually having conversations about that shit, you know?
As a beautiful celebration of that covenant and a beautiful, ultimately a reflection of God's desire to deeply know us and us to deeply know
Bro,
him.
God's never talked to me once, dude. He doesn't want to know me for shit.
In an intimate, close relationship. And so it's
Dude, these guys are corny for God. Damn.
heartbreaking to think that we have
I don't know why they don't need sex.
strayed so far from God's design, and we think, wow, well, true happiness is rejecting everything that our creator, our designer, whether we acknowledge him or not, has set forth, and we're going to bend all of these gender norms. We're going to completely reject male and female, and we're going to
Well, when it comes to like gender norms, like let's be clear, there's no like specific like not everything. If we upheld the exact same gender ideology and standards that we did like way back in the day, the world would look very different now. We as a society have been shifting, and even now, like women, if we're being more historically accurate when it comes to religion, I'm not sure how much of a platform these two, women would have.
to mash it up, mix it up, chop it up, literally inject it, and come up with whatever we want. And I just think it takes common sense to look at it and go, wow, this is a disaster. No wonder we are having so many mental problems and like anxiety problems. Like we are literally setting ourselves up on a trajectory of disaster.
So here's the thing. Again, I don't think that kids should be exposed to drag, but if you think that like the exposing to drag is the problem and not potentially, I mean, this isn't the problem. This isn't like the problem. If I had to point to something that was, when it comes to mental health, if I had to point to something and go like, this is the reason why mental health is so bad, it's social media. Fundamentally, it's a social media that constantly does a ton of bad things. It shows people the best of somebody else's life and not the worst of their life, which sets them up on a pedestal, which sets people, especially young people, but older people are definitely doing this as well, to compare yourself to them and go, my life is worse because look at how good their life is. That's one of the problems. It constantly it glorifies things like, it glorifies having mental health issues in the first place. It glorifies suicidality in people. It glorifies victimhood. This is what TikTok does. You get likes and views for being any of those things, for being morally righteous. You have people self-diagnosing and like unintentionally or intentionally imitating particular mental health disorders. You have people who are on their phones in a way that's like reducing and ruining their what's the word? Their ability to engage. The word is like escaping me. But it's like right on my tip of my tongue, but people's engagement on things is like very small, where like now on TikTok it's like 10-second engagements. Instead of like doing something that's a little long form, people are constantly looking at their phones. They're addicted to the dopamine levels. These are the issues. I really think that's so. And I'm not saying we should get rid of social media, but we should acknowledge the potential dangers and the harms of it. That's what's like really creating this like absolute burst of like mental health issues, some of which aren't even real. Some of them are almost conditioned to be in people's heads without them even knowing it. And it's very difficult because there's not like really any for a lot of mental health issues, there's no attention span. That was the word. Thank you so much. There's no absolute diagnosis in like, I'm going to do a brain scan and you have ADHD. We don't have that. It's like you have symptoms. I think you have this. And it's almost like a guessing game in some capacities. And especially with kids with more resources at their hands that maybe want to be more included in different ways, shapes, or forms. They can go on the internet and then Google, well, what's autism? What's ADHD? Or one of the symptoms of autism, the symptoms of ADHD, the symptoms of gender dysphoria, and they can educate themselves and they can be like, I have these things, because you can act them out in some capacity. And it takes away, it's almost like stolen valor for people who actually have these issues that they're struggling with, right? That's the biggest issue. This is far from one of the top issues that we really need to deal with. And I'm not saying we shouldn't call it out. That's like whataboutism. I'm not just saying like, you can't call this out because we have bigger problems. But like pointing at this is like, this is why the world is just being destroyed. It's not the biggest issue. We have tons of other issues that are much bigger to deal with. And I think it's like dishonest to kind of like, lead with this as being like, this is what's destroying the world. It's really not. It really isn't. It's, you know what I mean?
And acting like it's the solution.
Yeah. So as Christians specifically, like obviously we're coming from a worldview, we're coming from looking at God's word as our foundation for truth. We as Christians have to be so intentional to follow our Creator. We're told, and society tells us, look within to discover who you are. Look at your feelings. Look at what you're into. Look at your past. Look at your present. Like, look within to define yourself. But when we look in God's word, we really see that we discover who we are by knowing who God is. We don't discover ourselves apart from God. We learn who we are because we're informed by God. And as we look in God's word, we see, like you said, he has a...
That's God talking right now. You heard the dog? Because if you do it, the dog backwards is God. He's barking at him right now.
Very clear plan for the male and the female. In Genesis 1 and 2, we see God making, like you said, distinctions. He made a man, a male, and he made a female, a woman. And it's
so these are just different like words. I get what you're saying, but okay.
So clear. But in society, we're told, men can be women, women can be men, anyone can be anything, really. And it does get so confusing. It does get so complicated.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with what they're saying fundamentally.
Complicated. And if your framework is that you have to look within and you have to...
Okay, so the problem is that a lot of the social narrative is screaming anybody can be anything with no reason except for that's how I feel, and then feelings become like a big topic of conversation. That's why it's good to try to have some kind of like a foundation. So when it comes to like a trans woman, which is a biological male that is a gender woman, right? And I know some of you out there might not be on it with like the gender and sex are the same. Explore with me for a second. Let's separate gender. Let's separate sex. Trans women, which are biological men, and gender female. We'll use them as an example. Or trans women who are biological men, trans men, biological women, gender men. Sorry, even confusing for me. Nowadays, with the rising in popularity of something like non-binary, it kind of mixes it up a little bit, gets a little bit confusing, because a lot of people are like, well, this is how I feel, and then like what a feeling is kind of gets out of there. It needs to be more than I just feel like I can be a thing. It's an intense amount of distress for feeling a particular way. It's not just like, hey, I feel like a cat today. Like, that's preposterous. People talking about how they want to be called fucking frog gender are ridiculous. Nobody has an actual feeling, a valid feeling of wanting to be a fucking cat. Although when I was growing up, I always wanted to be my dog because they didn't have to go to school. It's more than just having like a feeling. It's having like such an intense feeling of like some kind of distress that you realize that you are not what you were born as, if that makes the most sense. So somebody who's like a trans woman, there's a reason why there's a lot of like increased suicide attempts or suicidality in people who are trans, because they are so dysphoric in the way that they feel that like this is something that like they were born in a way that was generally different or incongruent with like how most people are born. Because I imagine that like people are trans are mostly born trans. There's most likely environmental factors too, and it's complicated. But people That's the problem with like some of these people who are like trans trending. They're like, oh, I'm non-binary. Non-binary can be valid, but like some people are just doing it to be cool. And then like you see all these fucking school kids doing it, and all of a sudden it gets very confusing in the rules. Like there's no defined rules, and then like people don't understand. And then like there should be a literal or a like some kind of a rule set put in place so we can understand people who are actually being serious and people who are being who are just like doing it as like a trend in some capacity, or people who maybe are exploring their gender and like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right?
Find and discover who you are, and now you have like 1,000 options for who you can be. That is so hard. That is so scary. And even if you think you find who you are over time, it could change. 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, it could be different. But when we look at God's word, it honestly erases the confusion. Like there's so much confusion, there's so much dysfunction, and we look at God's word and we see the simplistic truth that in the beginning he created them, male and female he created. We see the simplistic truth that in the beginning he created them, male and female he created them in his image. And so the fact that I'm born with the female body informs me of God's intention for me. It informs me of who I am. You know, Psalm 139 talks about all of us when we're in the womb. The Bible says that God sees us. We're fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well because God was forming us, handcrafting us. None of us are a mistake, but when we look at our physical bodies, it's not.
God handcrafted me? Damn, brother. That's a fucking shame. He handcrafted me with this penis? Clearly, God does not love me. I'm just kidding. He loves me a lot.
Detached from our gender identity, our physical body, our biology. It is a part of God's holistic plan for who we are. And I can look at my body and see I'm a female, therefore God made me to be a woman. Therefore, I will look at his word to see what does it mean to be a woman? How do I live out my life as a woman, distinct from a man? And same if you're born a man. And so as we submit our lives to the authority of God's word, we recognize him as a good father. It clears up so much of the confusion and brings so much clarity. We discover who we are by knowing who he is. And the whole big push for drag queens to be mainstream.
Do you think that kids should be taught about different sexualities, genders, and such? Yeah, at a certain age, sure. For sexualities, for sure. I mean, what sexualities are there really? Like gay and straight, bisexual? When you get really like complex and all the pansexual shit, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary to get like super deeply involved in that. Possibly, I think that maybe I might be more on board with the fact that that's something that like parents should teach, but you know, I don't know. Genders, maybe. Again, like I feel like maybe that's like college level stuff for genders at least. Sexualities, you'd probably teach kids in like a sexual health class for the most part. Genders, I mean, that's more to me, more of like some kind of maybe when like you're 16 or older, maybe if it's like some kind of like a gender identity elective or something. I mean, it's fine to educate people on that shit. Not like they're not getting it from fucking Tumblr anyway or TikTok with these crazy people going that are like yelling, you know.
Confusion around sexual identity and all of that. It can feel so hard to push back or resist because we're told that we're hateful, we're told that we're bigoted, we're told we're transphobic, we're told all of these things if we don't jump on board. But we have to be women who stand.
I understand fundamentally kind of like some people who may disagree with the status quo and ask like legitimate questions will be called like some kind of a bigot in some capacity. I think that's unfair. The problem is that like when it comes to a religious context, historically religion has been like killed gay people. So that's really the reason why religion lost a lot of its credibility here when it comes to like talking about LGBTQ, because like there's been a lot of like anti just gay people, gay rhetoric and coming from religious people. Look at other countries. Their religions still uphold very homophobic ideologies. Look in our own country. Christianity still upholds very, you know, homophobic ideologies. Fundamentally, all religions seem to be wildly homophobic and hating gay people just for their existence to the point where they should be killed. Thankfully, in the United States, we have a different culture. But like still, the religion itself, if our religion was to take over, gay people would be in danger of living. Like you even see that there are fucking like Ted Cruz was talking about how he wanted to make it illegal. He wanted to make it so that to overturn Supreme Court rulings that allowed gay marriage, so he can make it state's choice to make it so that gay people just can't get married. Like there's the reason why people are looking and going like, what the fuck? It's like, what? Well, who cares if you're gay? There's nothing wrong with being gay, of course. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And solid on the truth of God's word and say that is confusion, that is craziness, like that is truly just like the brokenness of our society.
You know what the real confusion is? BBLs. I like a fat ass, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Too perfect, too confusing to me.
Lived out.
What's gonna happen when you get older and you still have that BBL? Oh, you got a BBL when you're like 20, 30 years old. Now you're 80. What the fuck's that thing gonna look like? It's going to look like rotting oranges in a fucking shopping bag. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And we have to fight against that and say God has a much better plan with compassion, speaking
Just like
truth
Drake
and
said,
love, and say,
God's
let's
plan.
look at God's word. He cares for you.
What's
He
up?
made you. He knew you when you were like a tiny little baby, and he has a good plan
Sounds like a groomer. Just kidding.
for your life. We actually unpack this in much greater detail on the Girl Defined show. So our podcast, we share a whole testimony of a man who was a drag queen. He shares his conversion to Christ and just the amazing
I look a little religious right
transformation
now.
of God, changing him from the inside out. It's incredible.
I think that's awesome because there are some people who maybe were misdiagnosed with gender dysphoria and they're able to find like peace and happiness with God. And I think that's awesome, but that's not most trans people. And the idea that most trans people can just like go to God and like become not trans anymore is fucking absurd. Just want you to be honest. And that person still might have gender dysphoria, but like not just hot take. Not everybody with gender dysphoria needs to transition. Some people, and it's usually limited, people who have gender dysphoria need to operate in the way that's best for them, that'll make them the happiest. And that usually involves setting a, so what it usually will involve is, so you diagnose with, I really don't know why I never posted this conversation. It was so good. I talked to somebody, it was a therapist who would you know, this is what their specialty was, people with gender dysphoria. And you're like, sometimes, not most of the time, but very rarely, the first thing we'll explore usually is the potential of identifying with your sex, your biology. So they'll have gender dysphoria, but it might be more comfortable for them to get to a point where they can identify with their own, you know, their sex and gender can be congruent even if they have gender dysphoria, which is interesting. But usually what you do is like you kind of set a standard of like, this is what I kind of want to look like. And as you transition, you kind of reel in that expectation, right? Because there's multiple factors that can impede you like hitting your ideal body. Part of that could just be genetics. Part of it could be like how long you went through a particular puberty for. Part of it can just be the expense, right? So that's usually how you operate with these things.
And along with a lot of other really practical, just talking points, how to talk through this, how to think about this biblically. This is like a nutshell version. So we encourage you to head on over to the Girl Defined show after this. If you haven't already listened to it, listen to our most recent episode talking all about drag queens. But we just want to end by saying, look to God's word. He is our designer. He created male and female. He has a good plan for us. Let's stand firm. Let's not back down. Let's speak truth in love. There is freedom when we follow God's design.
Incredible video. It was kind of interesting. If it was a little sussy there, it was a little bit suspicious. Do I think that those two girls kissed and got scared so they went fully religious? Possible. It's possible. I don't know. Seems like a conspiracy theory. Seems like a little bit of a conspiracy theory. Do we want to do another Just Pearly Things segment? I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, this is a good one. It's just a little bit, but I kind of want to watch that. Oh, have you watched The Andor? I don't know what that is, brother. Oh, like that. Oh, yeah. Am I ending stream pop up? Not right now. In a little bit. In a little bit. But funny. It's like poop. All right, I saw this. It's just like a little bit from Jon Stewart. It's not the whole interview, but I'm still curious to watch like the little bit about it. It is interview excerpt with Arkansas. Do I want to watch this? With Arkansas's Attorney General Leslie Rutledge. The problem, it's a conversation about like them banning like transgender affirmness with kids and stuff. I don't know if I actually want to watch it, because we talked a lot about this stuff today, and I might be a little burnt out. I'm a little burnt out on the topic because we talked about it all the time, and I was like, oh, this could be really interesting, but now I'm a little bit burnt on it. I feel like it's a little redundant. Any plans for the month? I'm gonna take a shit probably every day, at least once. It's a good watch. You think we should watch it? All right. All right, let's watch this. So this is an interview excerpt with Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge. The problem with Jon Stewart is obviously from The Problem with Jon Stewart. I'm wearing my hat a little weird because of the last segment. I don't feel like changing it because it's actually weirdly comfortable. So we're gonna get going.
Would the state of Arkansas step in to override parents, physicians, psychiatrists, endocrinologists who have developed guidelines? Why would you override those guidelines?
Well, I think it's important that all of those physicians, all of those experts, for every single one of them, there's an expert that says we don't need to allow children to be able to take those medications.
Well, that's just not true. I understand the hesitation on wanting your kids to take hormones and stuff. It's a very uncomfortable topic. Like, I'm very trans affirming, but I'm very apprehensive about young people, young kids going on hormones, especially like puberty blockers. Here's the thing, man. We have, and it's probably not like this in Arkansas, but we have a society that like is very affirming of trans people. I think that's great. I think that it sometimes can go a little too far, right? In the sense where I think that it's encouraged in some online spaces. There's some people who might be self-diagnosing with gender dysphoria. I've had a detransitioner friend, and they were like, I had, anxiety and depression, and I had this, and this, and I thought it was gender dysphoria. So I looked it up, and I kind of got myself prepared, and then I went to a doctor, and then I gave them, I was like, I'm feeling these different ways, because they educated themselves on it, and they're like, oh, I have gender dysphoria. And the doctor's like, for sure. So I could be a little apprehensive, and I'm extra apprehensive because we don't really talk about detransitioning very much. Like, that's the problem. Every time we talk about it, it's always transphobic. Whereas, like, I would be more comfortable with allowing kids to take hormone blockers or puberty blockers and shit if we had more of a conversation about detransitioners to see, like, where did we go wrong? Like, how could we avoid more people detransitioning? Like, what's the right way to operate in these different capacities? Right? So I can understand people being apprehensive. That being said, there aren't actual, like, experts in this particular field saying you shouldn't do these things. It's mostly people who are uncomfortable with it, reasonably so. But then on the flip side, there's like, what about the kid who is massively depressed because they're going through a puberty that like doesn't align with their gender ideology? And what if they do have genuine gender dysphoria? And it's like making them want to kill themselves because they're going through a male puberty or a female puberty. Because if you ask any trans person that's of age now, 25-year-old trans person, they're going to be like, I knew I was trans when I was like 4 years old. Like, I didn't understand it exactly, but I knew the feeling, and it didn't change. And so, like, these trans kids exist, whether we want to think so or not, like, objectively. It's just the issue of properly diagnosing like people with gender dysphoria to get them the help that they need, and also like properly educating these kids on like, hey, you might not be able to have a kid if you go through like hormone blockers, right? Because you're not really developing. It might be difficult for you to get like bottom surgery as a trans woman if you don't have like a developed penis because you didn't go through your puberty, so that like you would develop the right way. There's just such a complicated conversation to have, It's just so complicated, and I feel like we're not having it. It's just like, we're just not having it. We're not having it like in the real proper way,
That there are many instances where...
But that's not true. It's not for
it's
everyone.
Not true.
There's one. These are the established...
Well, I don't know that's not true. I don't...
It isn't true. There's no, like, it's not true.
No,
then why would you pass a law then if you don't know that that's true? Wouldn't you?
Well,
have
I know
done
that
so?
there are doctors, and that we had plenty of people come and testify before our legislature who said that, we have 98% of the young people who have gender dysphoria, that they are able to move past that. And
what is she referring to? 98% of people with gender dysphoria are able to move past that? Of people with gender are able to move past it. I think I actually know what she's referring to. I think I do. Oh, it's such a weird study. So my understanding, it's such a complicated thing to explain without like the resource material here, and I have to like find it. I'm not going to be able to find it today. So what somebody being trans is in the past wasn't always the same. The guidelines, from my understanding, from my recollection, because I've talked about this before, I think I did it on a Jordan Peterson video, is where like back in the day it was basically just kind of like gay kids. And it kind of changed to what it is. The definitions kind of changed. So it's not 98% of these kids are. It's what the fuck. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay. Okay, so let me kind of, I'm going to read this article. I think that it'll be at least part of this article. So looking at the research, so this is like kind of like pretexting it, you know, with like how the claim here is like 65 to 94% eventually cease to be identified as transgender. That's what the statistic says. Looking into the research, so one reason many researchers believe it's unnecessary to delay the social transition of a child is that they don't think the research on I don't even know what this word. What is it? Dissidence is valid. In other words, they think that the number of children who grow out of their transgender identity has been vastly overblown. The school of thought holds that because the criteria for a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, previously called gender identity disorder, was less straitened in the past. The earlier studies include a large cohort of children who today would not be diagnosed with gender dysphoria, gay boys who have been experimenting with different ways of expressing gender, but were never really transgender in the first place. So basically the concept is, back in the day, they're using the concept of gender identity disorder being the standard, which was not the way that we talk about gender dysphoria now, where like a gay kid that was just like maybe being a little more feminine, but wasn't like wearing a dress would be diagnosed with gender identity disorder, but they don't actually have actual gender dysphoria. It was when mental health is like a conversation that we're having more and more every day. So they didn't properly understand gender dysphoria, and they were over-diagnosing, and then these kids were obviously detransitioning because they never had gender identity disorder or gender dysphoria in the first place. So these are the out of context statistics that we are operating with. I don't think that means that we shouldn't continue to talk about the potential detransition rate, but it's not 98% in any capacity. It is from our misunderstanding of like gender identity disorder and gender dysphoria in the past, and like recalling onto old things like that to uphold today. A lot of mental health stuff from like 50 years ago is like everything Freud said, my understanding, is completely like wrong. But it helped a lot in learning the way that we move on and we study and evolve and understand mental health. And that's why this statistic is going to look the way that it looks. Okay. Sorry, I had to like refresh myself. It's one of those things where like I know what it is. I've looked at it multiple times, but it's been like a while. So I'm like, okay, I have to fucking quickly educate myself again, you know?
Once they have the help that they need, no longer suffer from gender dysphoria. 98% without that medical treatment.
That's an incredibly made up figure. That doesn't comport with any of the studies or documentation that exists from these medical organizations. What medical association are you talking about of these doctors?
Well, we have all of that in our legislative history, and we'll be glad to provide that to you. I don't have the name of that off the top of my head. I know it's something that...
You don't have the name of the organization?
You have the name of the study? The name of the person who did this study? Anything, you know what I mean?
That
off
you're
the
getting
top
that
of my
information.
head.
Oh, okay.
But yes.
Sorry, somebody said... false papa. Most of what Freud said was correct, just not the super specific. So certain aspects were not correct, but the overall. Okay. Let me. Okay.
We have all of that cited in all of our briefs.
You're suggesting that protecting children means overriding the recommendations of.
Okay. Just want to be clear. Thus, it didn't take long before it became clear that Freud's ideas were mostly wrong. Firstly, his developmental theory got wildly dismissed because no proof exists, etc. Okay. So just so you know, I believe I'm correct. It seems like he wasn't super correct about most of his stuff, but he was still very intelligent, and it helped us move forward in the exploration of like mental health fields. Okay, just want to throw that out there.
The American Medical Association, the American Association of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society.
We don't have enough data. We don't have enough to show that these drugs are effective and that these children are better off, and that we should encourage.
That actually might be true.
Or it's not enough for you.
No, listen, she actually might be kind of true in what she's saying.
We don't have enough data. We don't have enough to show that these drugs are effective and that these children are better off, and that we should encourage these.
Or it's not enough for you.
I would argue it's not enough for most people. I would argue that it wasn't enough for most people, even now today. So realistically speaking, remember before I talked about how she referenced a very poor study on gender identity disorder that doesn't hold up today because we had the wrong and bad concepts of those things back in the day, which were like, let's say like 30 or 40 years ago. That is the precise reason why we don't have enough information today, because we haven't been accurately and intelligently studying gender identity disorder for a long enough time to absolutely 100% understand the outcomes in a long-term capacity, because we haven't been studying them in that long-term capacity. So when she says it's not enough, she's actually kind of right. We don't really know. And the unfortunate reality of the world is sometimes, and it sucks, people are going to have to be almost guinea pigs. It's 100% possible. I don't think it's likely, but it is possible that people being treated for gender dysphoria nowadays, that might turn out to be the wrong way to treat people 20, 30, 40 years from now. Right? That could possibly happen. We might find out like, oh, fuck, you know what? We needed to do this and we did this instead. And we might have done it well-intentioned. It's the same thing where we used to put like fucking, I think like cocaine when we did like dentistry, because we're like, oh, more morphine, like right into the gums, because we like thought that was what we should do. Same reason why we used to push cigarettes onto people, because it's like, hey, it helps you lose weight. We don't really know. Now, the reality is that this person might just be absolutely transphobic and not care what the outcome actually is. Realistically speaking, like people, most of the people that I saw talking about how, like, for instance, trans women shouldn't be in sports, which I agree with. Not because I want to withhold trans women from sports, but the reality is, especially if you go through a male puberty, you're going to have a biological advantage. I'm saying that from a nuanced space where I don't want to exclude trans people and competitive sports. I think that she's able to play sports. But, like, unfortunately, I think it needs to be that way to maintain fairness. But most people, I think, that we're calling it out, or a lot of people online, like Steven Crowder, it doesn't matter whether if the science said that everything, that if a trans woman and a cis woman, like, were biologically the exact same, Crowder would still say trans women shouldn't compete in sports, right? So it's possible that there's just like a always anti-trans perspective, and she just happens to potentially be correct or in some capacity, right? That's 100% possible. And it's possible that she will just always be like, no, fuck that, right?
Let me try and flip it a different.
They're making money off these medications also. Yeah, for sure. I understand that. But the thing is that they're making money off of like all medications. If you have a problem with people making money off of medications, I would genuinely recommend that you consider the idea of pushing towards more universal healthcare system. Honestly. Because like fundamentally we're making too much money, or companies are making too much money off of all medications. That's what we should really push more than anything else. If you have an issue with that, you need to keep it consistent with everything else, because they shouldn't be making drastic amounts of money off of things like insulin and fucking all these other drugs as well, right? I don't think that I don't think that it's healthy to go into like almost like a conspiracy-esque arc that it's like, oh, people are only getting gender affirming care because they make money off of things. If our system is that deeply corrupted, then you should want to try to change it for the better fundamentally, right?
Different way, and see if maybe this can help. In Arkansas, let me try and flip it a different way and see if maybe this can help. In Arkansas, if you have pediatric cancer, and obviously we all want to protect children, I think we established that earlier. Whose guidelines do you follow for pediatric cancer?
I agree with what he's saying. But the problem is that pediatric cancer is very objective in the sense of like testing for it. So I could be like, hey, you will find cancer in somebody. You're not going to be able to, at least with our current technology, find gender dysphoria in somebody's brain. I know they've done some studies and they've said like, oh, trans women tend to be more feminine brained and trans men tend to be more masculine brained. But if I said to you, okay, should we only allow gender affirming care to those people that have like masculine or feminine brains or whatever? You would say no. Because it's much more complicated than that. We don't have an absolute test to be like, this person's gender dysphoria. If we did, we would be having a very different conversation right now, right? That's how like the difference here. Fundamentally, though, you should generally listen to the people whose field it's in. I would still say that right now we should still listen, obviously, to like the people who they are experts in like this gender, like affirming care and whatnot. But that's how she could poke a hole in that particular thing and at least promote or at least communicate why she's so feeling distrustful about this. You know?
Well, I think if my child, who is 4, if I was faced with that terrible decision, then I would be speaking to my doctor. And if my doctor recommended something that I disagreed with, then I would get a second opinion. And that's what I believe that these parents need to make sure that they're encouraged to get numerous opinions.
But does her law completely stop them from being able to get the care, or does it advocate for them getting a second or third opinion?
We're talking about an irreversible step.
You're not
their
letting
child's
them. The state's not saying get another opinion. What they're saying is you can't.
Yeah,
what you're actually saying
No,
is
that's
the opposite.
actually not at all what the state said. The state simply said that you cannot perform these procedures, and so parents should get another opinion. That they
Well, it's such a fucking scum line. She's like, we should get another opinion. That's not what she's saying. She's not saying get a second opinion on a diagnosis. She's saying get the other opinion, not get a second opinion. Just have the opposite opinion on the situation. She's just legislating your inability to potentially treat your child the correct way. This is like, what? That's some scummy language. That's some fucking degenerate shit language. That'd be like if I banned religion and people are like, well, I don't like that you don't allow me the freedom to have my own religion. I'm like, I'm not banning you from the freedom of having religion. You just can't have the freedom to have that religion or any others. You have to just have the opinion that is opposite of an opinion of a religious person. That's exactly what she's saying. You just cannot be religious. She's saying it like in a way that sounds like nice. It's silly. It's dishonest and it's shit. You know what I mean? Just own it. Her point before where she feels like there's not enough research, that's fair. Push on that. Say, I don't think there's enough research on this topic. That's fair. Right? I would still say that I think that these people who are their medical profession, they're probably more right than us who don't study this for shit. I wake up every day, I piss, I shit, I fucking stream. Right? You're a politician. It's okay to be skeptical, but we're not the ones that are like ingrained in this. We didn't study for however many years. So it's okay to be uncomfortable and express concerns, but we should still probably listen to the fucking experts on this topic. But have a better opinion other than you just can't have this option. Get a different opinion that's not the opinion that you want. That's not getting a second opinion.
And children should want to have another opinion.
But that's not.
Because again, these are 9, 10, 11, 12
So if your child is suffering from pediatric cancer and the state comes in and says to you, they recommend chemotherapy, but we're not going to let you do that.
So somebody in the chat says, as a scientist and a researcher myself, I do think more research should go into it. If we could find more of evidence to diagnose people, the puberty blockers could be okay. See, that's the problem, though. And this is what I was saying before. This is the unfortunate pill to swallow in this circumstance. And I would ask you the question, how do you think that we could do this research without prescribing the medication to actual people? Because there's no other creature in the world that has the concept of gender identity. So we can't test this on lab rats like we do makeup and whatnot, or monkeys or whatever the fuck we test it, or other animals. So it's the unfortunate reality is all we can do is use the most evidence that we have today available to try to do our best to guide these young people into a way that they're not going to be unhappy for the rest of their lives. And the unfortunate reality is we might fuck up. And we did. We were fucking up. Remember we just talked about the gender identity disorder thing. And that's the problem. It's like when we talk about what's the additional research, there's none that you can do without, unfortunately, almost field testing it. It's the sad, fucked up reality. It just is. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate, man.
You can't. We think
you want to try those drugs yourself? Okay.
Get a different opinion. And here's the organization we think you should get the opinion from. They're not the mainstream, but they're an organization. So that's who you have to be treated by. Does that sound like something you would accept?
I think that's a very extreme example. That's not at all in line with what we're talking about. We're not saying that at some point, because when you have cancer, it literally is, and particularly pediatric cancer, and having friends that have lost children to pediatric cancer, having a 4-year-old, I'm sure.
I've got some bad news for you.
I wonder if they cut out her saying that it's an objective thing. You could see cancer, you can't see gender dysphoria.
Parents with children who have gender dysphoria have lost children.
Yeah,
to suicide.
That's true.
And depression.
They absolutely
because it's
have.
acute. And so these mainstream medical organizations have developed guidelines through peer-reviewed data and studies. And through those guidelines, they've improved mental health outcomes. So I'm confused why you follow AMA guidelines and AAAP guidelines for all other health issues than Arkansas, because we checked, but not for this.
It's simply saying, let those young people who are facing gender confusion and dysphoria, allow them to become adults and to make that decision. Allow a child to be a child.
So here's where we have our crossroads.
I can understand where she's coming from with that. And like I was saying it before, like it's a hard balance to be like, I want to make sure my kid's properly diagnosed versus like, I want my kid to be happy growing up. And it's like, how the fuck do you make that decision? You know what I mean? That can be really tough. And ideally, we should let these kids get to an age where they can like accurately like make the conscious decision and be like, I know this is what I need, rather than having like an 11 or 12-year-old kind of like, you know, they may not be able to express themselves properly. They might be expressing themselves unintentionally incorrectly. A lot of bad things can potentially happen.
You've made the determination that protecting these children means not giving them access to the guidelines and care that have been designed by medical and mental health professionals for children expressing gender dysphoria. And I'm asking you again, what are your qualifications to step in and say, no, keeping you from that care is protecting you. You've made that determination.
Well, these are irreversible decisions that these children at these young ages are making, or that their
They're
parents
not
are
making
making.
the decision. You're making it sound like a 9-year-old walks into a doctor's office and says, give me some testosterone. And the doctor goes, oh, thank God, because we're wanting to create an army of transgenders because we're crazy. And they go right in like...
No, we passed a law to protect the children.
I think what she's trying to say is what I said before. Where what if the kids like just maybe aren't expressing themselves well enough? The problem is it doesn't seem like it seems like maybe there's never going to be enough for her to like be comfortable with the decision, and that's like the problem.
In Arkansas, and I think that's what is important.
Again, the medical community disagrees with you that
Well,
that's
not all of the
protecting
medical community.
Who doesn't?
We have had experts testify here in Arkansas.
Okay, from what medical organizations?
Well, we have all of those in our briefs, and I apologize that I wasn't prepared to have a Supreme Court argument today in front of you, but we are going to have arguments on this case when the time comes.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like she had any actual answer for like what the medical, because like that's the thing. Like, let's say you have a doctor, a foot doctor, and they're like, I don't think that this gender dysphoria shit is real. Like, of course, that's not their field of study, so it's not, they can't exactly be the most credible
Lucas
sources.
Callahan became a member.
Hey, thank you so much for the membership, brother.
Eggy to 9 billion became a member.
Oh, thank you so much for the membership, brother. I appreciate that. Here you go. Mwah.
Creepy S super chatted $4.99. Papa, did you see Boogie lost all his money in crypto and is begging his fans for money?
I didn't. Is there a video where that can be checked out in some capacity? Like, what's can I see something on it? Like, you have to show me a little more than that. So what does a social construct mean? That's a little interesting question. So a social, I mean, like the basic is like a social construct is like, basically something created by society, like some kind of like an ideology, like words are social constructs, right? So we call, boys, we created the word boy, or we call water H2O is H2O.
Angie Toasty super chatted $4.99. W stream Papa.
Thanks, brother. So like we call water, it's H2O, but we also call it H2O when there's something there that exists. Water exists whether we label it or not, but the labeling for water is a social construct. Most social constructs are still rooted in like an absolute like fact. Like water exists whether we name it or not, right? Like we all have elbows, but that's how we name it an elbow, right? We have when it comes to a face, it's a social construct that we call this whole thing the face. And then this is like our head though. We have a face on our head. Where does the face start and end? Well, wherever we as a society have decided to. Right, the fact that we have 4 fingers and the thumb, which I think is an appendage, right? It's a social construct. We can call them all fingers, but you see how like that's the social construct. That's what a social construct is. It's something that society creates, but it will always be around something that is absolute in society. Yeah, like white people, like they are white, but we're not actually white. We're like very pale brown, We call people white. It's like a social construct. We're just melanin deficient. We don't all have elbows. I'm sure some people don't. Thank you. It's a crazy, crazy fucking thing. Oh, sorry. I might need to do this frenemies thing. next time I stream. This is going to be a big stream. It's going to be like a fucking 6-hour stream. And we're going to do all of the frenemies thing in one fucking fell swoop, bro. But I think for now, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to go pee, obviously. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Everyone. I appreciate you guys a lot. It was a fun stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the members. For any of those of you who are hanging out here right now, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. I'm going to put the stream, I'm going to come off stream. I'm going to put it on members only. So if you want to rewatch a part of it, it's $2 for a membership. Or you can wait for it to come out. I just like to get it reviewed for monetization before I release a video. Or you can follow the Papa Got Leftovers channel and you can see all the stuff there, right? I release that usually tomorrow at 12, you know. I just do it to get it monetized, you know, because obviously I got to make my money. Watch a new Boogie video? What do you mean? I'll check this out before I go. What's the new Boogie video? I need help. This one you're talking about?
Beautiful.
Is this the crypto one where Boogie invested all his money into crypto and you're asking me to watch this really quick?
Back on this beautiful fall day. Is it fall officially? I think it is. But in my backyard with my puppies. And I want to have a conversation with you. Well, this is a video I've dreaded making.
Okay.
But it's time. So I'm asking for your help as we head into the holiday season.
Okay.
Not happy about it, but here we are.
Okay.
So if you've been watching the channel lately, you know the last 3 videos I've uploaded were Francis videos, and that's by design. They're attention grabbers. They're polarizing. The algorithm likes it. So I'm trying to dig my way out of the hole that I currently find myself in.
Wait, the last 3 videos are Francis videos? Francis reacts, Francis orders, Francis quit. Oh, okay. It doesn't seem like they do any better than your other videos. Maybe they do? Okay.
I know not everybody's a huge fan, but there's other reasons I'm making those videos as well. There's good and there's bad reason, and let me start off with the good.
Okay.
The good news is, if you've followed me for any amount of time, back in 2019, you'll know I had a nervous breakdown, and I had to take a huge break from this job, and I still did the bare minimum. I was on Twitter too much, but I only made like
that's why I gotta delete Twitter.
1 YouTube video a week or every 2 weeks. I only live streamed like once a month, and it's because I needed a break from this for the first time in like a decade.
I get that.
And I was hoping.
Isn't that crazy though? Could you imagine just not working for like a month? That is one of the cool things. Like there are times where like I'll hit a burnout, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna work for a few days. It is definitely a privilege as a content creator to be able to, like, well, if you're, as long as you're like reasonably successful, you can just be like, oh, I'm just not gonna work. It's crazy. Because I remember being at my job, and like there have been some stressful aspects of content creation, but like when I was at my job, I had times where like I was fucking crazy, like stressed, bro. Like I had fucking shit bosses. I can't do anything about it. I gotta show up to work every day, even though I'm like stressed and pissed and fucking irritated. You gotta see the asshole that's fucking with you every day. You know what I mean? You don't escape that in the real world, brother. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Hoping that when I came back last March, my audience would be there for me, and so many of you are.
Very cool, very cool.
I'm so grateful. So many of you are watching the videos, you're watching them to the end, you're dropping a like, you're sharing them with friends, you're commenting, you subscribe, you're doing all the YouTube stuff, and it means the world to me. Cool. And I know I'm in a position where mentally and physically, I'm ready to make this type of content again. Okay. Spiritually, mentally, physically, every possible way. I'm excited to make it. I'm enjoying writing for the character again. I'm enjoying acting it out. I'm plotting things out with my friends. I'm looking forward to making a huge...
How does collecting Social Security work as a content creator once you hit that age? Because you pay into Social Security, right?
Halloween video, a huge Thanksgiving video, a huge Christmas video. I feel good. And I'm excited to do it again. The bad reason is I'm finally in a position where I have to get back to work.
Okay.
And I'm not making any excuses here.
That's how life works, brother.
You know, I spent a tremendous amount of money on dumb things. But the biggest issue is that...
I guess we all do. I've spent some money on dumb stuff too, but usually been trying to put some money away into like stocks. Probably going to go to the bank and try to set up like a legitimate 401k next year because I think that's tax deductible. I don't quite understand everything. But okay,
I had a nice big nest egg. I took some financial advice from a friend, and I'm not pointing fingers necessarily. I took the advice, but I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of everything.
Whoever that friend is a fucking moron. But brother, listen, here's the thing. I wanted to so listen, I'm not like super educated on like stocks and whatnot. And first of all, crypto is much more volatile than like a stock market, right? If you're a young person, it makes more sense to make a risk in general, whether it's crypto or stocks, because you have a long time to recoup that money. When I remember working a real job, I signed up for my 401k and they ask you how you want them to like spend your money. And you can either specifically kind of pick, or you do what I did. I didn't really read the paper. And you could either go with like an aggressive growth strategy, which will come back with like very volatile ups and downs, but have a much better long-term growth. You can go with like a medium type of one where it's less volatile. There's more steady growth. Or you can go with one that's like super conservative. There's very little growth, but there's very little risk. And the way that you're supposed to do this is based on how old you are. If you're somebody who's in your 20s starting a 401k, you want to go with the aggressive growth strategy in your 401k because you'll maximize returns in the long term. But as you get older, you want to shift that and change that and make less and less risks because you're getting ready to fucking die. That's the reality. At 48 years old, there's no reason you should go anywhere beyond a moderate investment like strategy when it comes to stocks, and you should have done it in the actual stock market because this actual stock market is a better infrastructure than the fucking crypto market. The actual stock market, if things really do go to shit, the government will bail them out. We've seen the government bail out banks all the time. It pisses people off because they don't deserve the bailout, and it's almost like a zero stipulation, so it's fucking bullshit. But at least your money will generally be protected inside of these savings. And so you're 48 years old and you're making this super aggressive move to spend a reasonable majority, is what it sounds like, of your investment strategy. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? You're 48 years old. Why would you do that? It sounds like you got convinced by somebody who's a fucking idiot. I don't know who it is, but holy fuck, you got convinced to just blow your money that you didn't have. And more than anything else, maybe they aren't an idiot. Maybe it's just you. You need to be the person in charge of your own shit. And you know that. And like, if you ever watch this video, which you won't, it's fun, you'll be like, yeah, that's a good advice. But you knew that. And you made this really bad choice. And now you're in a position, you put yourself in the position to beg your fans. And this should have been something to consider. I'm not trying to be rude, because you know what? I'm not trying to be rude, but goddamn, man, you made this active strategy and it's not good, brother. If you had the nest egg, you really just shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have done that. You really shouldn't have done that. Damn. Damn. Oh, man.
That sucks. That really sucks. It is what it is, though. I mean, like, I've come to terms with it. But I need to get back to work. I have some savings, but they're going quickly.
Okay.
And if I don't start live streaming and making content and getting ad revenue and stuff again, I'm going to lose everything.
Okay, so start doing that, brother.
And I definitely do not want to do that. So that's why I'm asking for your help today. And it's
let's see what the help that he's asking for is. Because if his help he's asking for is, hey guys, tune into the live streams and watch the videos and shit, that's not so bad. If he's like, hey guys, it would be tremendous help if you watched, I could respect that. But if he's like, I need you to donate money, I'm like, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Come on, motherfucker.
Is two groups of people here I want to talk to. The first of which is fans who just like the content.
Yeah.
If you click on videos you like and you watch them to the end and you drop a like and you leave a comment and you share it with friends and you click the notifications, you do the YouTube stuff, you're doing plenty. Okay. If that's all you want to do, if that's all you can do, okay, I love you to death. You mean everything.
That's all you can do. That's like the whole fucking business, brother. I don't think I ever really ask anybody for money. Like, I'll tell you guys that, like, I put my streams on members only on YouTube after they're done and waiting monetization. And once they get, whether they monetize or not, once they're finished the review, I put them up. So you could just pay the $2, or you could, if you really want to see it, which I always appreciate, or you just wait and for the ad revenue. You know what I mean? But damn. I don't know. That's just, to me, I'd never really asked for donations. I remember at one point I would ask people for, like, be like, hey guys, if you have Amazon Prime, and when I was on Twitch. But even then, I got tired of it. It's like, oh my God, asking for money every day. It's so fucking boring. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit.
Right? There's a second group of people who might find themselves able to do a little more, and if you're one of those people,
Damn, brother.
I'm asking for your help today too.
Damn, brother. He's asking us to bail him out like a goddamn bank. He's asking the American taxpayer to bail him out.
Do you like the t-shirts I have? This one's not in the merch lane shop yet, but there's several, and I'm making new designs all the time. And if you like a t-shirt, buy a t-shirt. I make like a $9 profit off of a $25 purchase. If you don't want to buy something from me directly, you can shop with one of my sponsors. That's always an option as well.
Damn,
if you like
brother.
a product I'm selling, get involved with a sponsor, shop through them, use my code. If you're in a position where you only have like $1 or $5, you can super chat that.
Bro, if you're in a, let me tell you something. If you're in a position, I think that's the biggest problem. Is like, bro, if you're in a position where you only have $1 or $5, do not donate that money to a fucking YouTuber. Because if you only have $1 or $5 to donate, my brother in Christ, you need that money more than I do. Okay? You do. All right? I'm just being real with you. If you only have $1, man, that's okay. We've all been there. But don't be spending it on some fucking YouTuber who decided to blow all their money on dumb shit. Okay? If you have a lot of money and you're like, I want to show appreciation, hey, I would always appreciate it. But if you only got a fucking $5, and a lot of people who watch my content are like young guys or like older women, right? And the young guys, they're younger, they don't have a lot of money, and the older women, you know, I don't know. I guess their husbands control their money. I don't fucking know. I'm just busting shots. But just hold on to the fucking money, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys only have $5 to your name, give it to me right now. Give me a super chat. In fact, send it through the PayPal. I get more of the money from the PayPal. It's in the description, guys. Don't give me your money if you don't have a lot of money.
When you like a video, you can pledge $5 a month, $10 a month on the channel membership program. And if you do that, if we can get up to like 100 members, I want to start making special clips and videos that'll stay member only for the people who want to see that stuff. My way of saying thank you to you.
Hold on a second.
And if you do that, if we can get up to like 100 members, I want to start. You can pledge $5 a month, $10 a month on the channel membership program. And if you do that, if we can get up to like 100 members, I want to start making special clips and videos that'll stay member only for the.
See, that's the problem I have.
People who want to.
That's another problem I have here. It's like, okay, so like you're in like a desperate financial situation. You have to start upping the amount of content you create. Okay, that's fine. I feel like there's a way he could have made this video that wasn't like disrespectful. Or like money begging, I guess is a better way to say it. He's saying if we can get 100 channel members, hold on a second, I gotta burp. Then he will start exclusive content for people. Why don't you start making the content now and then telling people that there is exclusive content available if you do become a member? It's kind of lazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's one thing, if he's like, hey guys, listen, I'm in like a financial constraint. I really appreciate when you look at my videos and like, follow, sub, donate if you can, but if you can't, don't worry about it. Pushing my video through the algorithm always helps me. But I'm releasing members only content because I made a bad financial decision. So I'm going to make extra content that's going to be paywalled behind, well, a paywall. And you can have access to that if you get my $2, $5, $10 a month membership. Boom. I could be like, I could respect that decision. You fucked up financially, but you're offering something. You're not offering anything except for like pity. You didn't create the content and then make the advertisement. Don't just beg for money and then like loosely promise you might make members only content if it becomes financially viable enough for you. You have to take that risk yourself. Make the content, and you know what? It might not become financially viable for you, but like, oh well, that's how the overwhelming majority of content creators act. But you should, if you want loyal parasocials, as I call them, you need to offer something first. You know what I mean? Offer something first.
See that stuff. My way of saying.
What is a Roth IRA? What is that?
Thank you to you guys. If you watch my live streams and you want to donate, throw bits at me, subscribe there. That's obviously also an option. I've never really pressed my Patreon or pressed channel memberships, but I kind of have to now. That's a scary position to be in. And the biggest issue I think I'm facing is that...
Get a job at Walmart, brother. They'll take you. Be a door greeter.
YouTube is starting to take my old videos out of rotation. The Francis flip the table, the Francis Mountain Dew video, the dramatic fat guy splash. Those videos made next to no money because they were short and because they didn't get a lot of ad revenue. And
because people didn't really watch them.
Demonetized or limited ads. Now they're making no money
Okay.
because they're literally not getting views anymore.
But why do you think that's YouTube taking it out of rotation and not just them not being interesting now? It's always so weird to me when people blame, like, listen, I know YouTube changes its algorithm, but people will like blame YouTube. Yeah, they're taking this out of the Oh, okay. You think maybe that it's just cycling out of the algorithm? Like, I know people will complain. It's like, oh, okay. So my understanding is that YouTube did like kind of a shift of content where they made it more difficult for like content creators that you liked to get their notifications that you subscribe to. So let's say you're a content creator, you had like 1 million subscribers, and the previous algorithm, you would have saw their video right away when it popped up. Now they're making you hit like the bell and like making alerts that you get it now. It's like, oh, so YouTube's taking me out of the algorithm. What that sounds more like to me is what YouTube is doing is they're saying, we know that you like particular content creators, but we want to give everybody a shot. So we're going to, and we want to maximize the amount of time you're on YouTube. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your watching and your viewing trends, and we're going to suggest videos based on your watching trends rather than necessarily who you follow. It's the approach that TikTok makes, and the idea is to maximize the amount of content that you will enjoy watching, even if it's not necessarily your favorite content creator, because that favorite content creator might make content you enjoy, but maybe not as much as other content, but you enjoy them because you know them more, right? I don't know. I just see people blame the algorithm in like kind of weird ways sometimes. Or it's like the algorithm did this. Maybe the content is just not relevant anymore, you know?
Which is fine. I mean, I get it. You know, YouTube has to update. It just kind of puts me in a bad position and puts me in the position of making this video.
So then make your own one of those, what are those things called? Compilation video. Francis Farts, you know what I mean?
So what do you get for your money? Here's what I'm going to try to do.
Okay.
I can't promise any weight loss stuff because you guys know.
Okay.
You guys know. That's not a thing I know that I can do for you. But
most people who can't do weight loss for that kind of shit, it's not a good motivator. Because when you fall off, it's just like a weird disappointment. So
I can promise you Francis videos throughout the holidays. I can promise you quality t-shirts, quality sponsorships. I can offer you rambling videos. I can offer you private videos in the membership section and interaction there. I can offer you whatever you want. I literally, tell me what you guys want in the comment section. I will work on it. I will do it. I'll try to make it happen. I'm not wanting just free money for no reason. You tell me what you want me to do, and I'll try to make it do. I'll try to make it happen.
Try to make it do.
So I'm going to go back to writing and filming Francis sketches right now. Literally, I have therapy. But then after therapy, I'm working on a few ideas. And I just appreciate you hearing me out. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, even if you don't have a dime to give, you're making my dreams come true already. You're keeping me safe, and I appreciate you.
All right, well, I guess that's nice.
Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. Wow, that was an uncomfortable video.
Yeah, well, okay. Here's my thing that I'm not like quite understanding here, right? And this is just me looking at it. I get he's talking about how he's like, oh, I'm making content, blah, blah, blah. When I look at he's writing videos for Francis shit. When I look at his page, I see a 6-minute long video saying, I need your help. I see some TikTok or YouTube shorts, which don't really pay anything. I see a 2.5-minute Francis video. I see a almost 3-minute Francis video. I see a 3-minute 30-second Francis video. I see an 8-minute, okay. So I'm seeing a lot of videos daily, bi-daily. So we got 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4, 8, 10, 11, 2 weeks, daily or bi-daily videos. I see under 10-minute videos. So we're saying, let's say an average, and some of these older get a little more, right? I'm seeing like not a whole lot of content being produced. I don't know how much writing you think goes into a 2 or 3 minute sketch, but mostly you're just kind of being the Francis character and going on screen. There's probably not a whole lot of writing. Maybe I'm wrong. Then I go onto your Twitch and I see that you're streaming 6 hours ago, then 5 days ago, 9 days ago, 24 days ago. So you have an incredibly inconsistent Twitch schedule. You have an incredibly inconsistent YouTube upload schedule. I personally am not seeing any work going into any of this content. Like, I know you're older, but you kind of put yourself in this position by burning through your fucking money. And like, this job's already not that hard. And you're saying, oh, I can do members only content. Why? Why do you even need to go that way? Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm not a fucking cool, big content creator. Like at the But like, if you look at my content, and I don't even work that hard. I'm not even saying I do. You know, we go to my videos, and I kind of got fucked a little bit because I waited for monetization on some of these. So they have like this video was released like 3 days after I made it. Very upsetting. But either way, I'll do a live stream, right? I'll do a live stream here, and then what I'll do is I'll do different segments on it. I will throw together what is it called, chapters, and then we're gonna shameless self plug that I have the Papa Gut Leftovers channel, and then I put all those bits on here. And it's like, you know, also I stream for, let's say I stream for 3 hours, and then I cut all that stuff up. Let's say I do 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, maybe let's say I do 6 days a week, 24, 25 hours. I make a good living. Meanwhile, I'm seeing you put let's say you do 5 minutes of work a day. I just say it like, all I'm saying is you could put in a little more effort, because it sounds like you want to put in next to no effort and get paid a bunch of money. And I just wonder, especially, like, you can say that Boogie's fallen off as much as you want, but I'm looking at who cares about his overall 4 million views? Like, I mean, like, subscribers. Like, yeah, you'd be like, well, he's not making enough subscribers based on his views. Okay, who gives a fuck about that as long as you're doing well? I look in here and I saw a 1 hour long live stream with 19,000 views. So 19,000 people showed up to a live stream where you're for an hour of you unboxing shit. So like, what's stopping you from doing an hour a day, 2 hour a day live stream talking about some bullshit topics, like in a similar way that I do it? And pulling like 10, 15, 20K views a video, and then cutting up those segments and potentially putting them on the main channel, or making another channel, or doing this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is the question, hey guys, can you beg? Why is it to basically beg for money while barely offering any content? Why not just do some more content? Because it sounds like it just sounds like you don't want to put in almost any work and you want to get views. You know? I'm just saying, you know, there's plenty. Go fucking be a Jubilee reactor. Go react to Jubilee videos. Go do something different. Why aren't you doing a little bit more? Putting in a little bit more work for the money. You know, it wants the money now. Okay, put in the work. I don't know what to tell you, bro. You know? You could probably have a pretty reasonably financially successful career. Well, if you want the money as soon as possible, get your ass to work. You know what I mean? That's what I was in the chat saying. Oh, maybe he wants to work. He wants the money now. Get your ass to work, brother. All I'm saying.
Squintzeroni super chatted $5. Good night, Pappy Gut.
I love you. I love you. Good night. I tried to end before, but I didn't. Yeah, he should have had a lot more content.
Super chatted $4.99. Papa, take this. Don't end up like Boogie. Set up a Roth IRA, not 401k.
Okay.
Neum 113 super chatted 99 cents.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much for the donations. Yeah, I get maybe he's older and he feels like he can't. You got to start again, brother. I mean, like, he made the conscious decision to make a bad investment, and so like now you're gonna have to get your shit together and kind of push forward. That's just what you got to do. I don't know what to tell you, man. He's gonna just have to do it. He's gonna just have to still to do it. Daniel Larson. I don't know if there's much more. There's not a lot of Daniel Larson stuff to talk about, brother. And it's like kind of one of those topics where it's like, you know, it's fucking complicated and uncomfortable to talk about, you know, because I feel like me covering it just makes it worse. With like people get more encouraged to troll. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate you stopping by. Like I was trying to say before, after this is over, I do appreciate the extra topic. But after this was over, we're gonna end it right now. I'm gonna put it on members only until it gets finished reviewing for monetization, whether it gets monetized or not. If you want to do that, membership's $2, or you can just wait for it to come out. Or you can just go to the Papa Got Leftovers channel, and the clips will be up tomorrow of like all the heavy segments, you know? So thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I'm going to play the rollout, and I love you guys. See you later. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching, and a special shout out to all my Patreon patrons, my YouTube members, and my Twitch subs. If you'd like to learn how you can contribute even more than you already are by simply watching the video, you can check the links down below, which will unlock a special feature depending on the platform that you subscribe to, such as Patreon here that will get your name right here on this wall. Thank you so much, guys, again.